live, so I'm just doing the intro, so y'all don't think I'm talking to y'all. Shalom, this is Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're here at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. You can join us for class Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., Friday from 9 to 11:30 p.m., and then we have class on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you got any questions during the course of the class, you can hit me up on the text 832-941-2443, or right there on the YouTube live chat, and we'll go ahead and receive your questions live and address those here on the air. We're going to be doing the Revelations breakdown. We're going to continue where we left off Monday on chapter 5. Gave y'all a little to be continued that day. So we're going to pick up from there. But if you got any questions, we'll address those. We'll give it an hour for questions and everything like we usually do. If not, we'll go right into the class because we got a lot of ground to cover with this Revelation breakdown. But I'll give that a second to kick in. And do y'all got any questions here in class? Okay. Oh, another thing for y'all online, we appreciate the donations y'all been giving. We got the brothers in Georgia they've been giving over the thesauruses and the pens and papers and all that. Sisters been sending stuff in like that, and we definitely appreciate that. If you got anything else you want to give, the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionaries, pens, papers, cars, computers, anything that'll help the educational process of your people, you can send that to 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, or basically it should pop up on the screen there. But when it does, that's the address to the school. If you got any monetary donations, you can send those to Wells Fargo account. And that's account number 101-580-6167. All right, I'm going to say that one more time. It's 101-580-6167. All right, that's under the Israelite School of Biblical History account. All right. So once again, if y'all have any questions, let that kick in for a second. If you have any questions, text 832-941-2443. Please text only. And if you have any, or you can put it in on the group text. Yeah, he said we didn't need it for this class. Hey, you good on that? As long as there's a brother, watching right there. That's fine. All right, so nobody had any questions on any topic? Oh, you got one? Everybody doing all right? Nobody got caught in that flood or nothing like that? Said no.
Everybody was panicking. I woke up, looked outside, went back, laid down. I was like, most I ain't gonna let this be fine.
That's all that happens with me every time, man. I sleep good.
Get right up to your door.
Right?
Just crazy.
Yep. I think comes up on the cot. Alright, so if there's no questions, well, you said you had one, right?
Yes, sir.
Alright, and then what you got, sis?
Well, I just want to ask you, have you ever teach the class of what the 10 plagues of
the 10 plagues apply to?
Yeah.
What you mean?
10 plagues, you know, like,
10 plagues in Egypt?
yeah,
What do you mean what they apply to though?
apply to, each one apply to something. Mm-hmm.
No, we never really went over it like that.
I got it all in this book, but that shit does what it says, what it means, what it applies to.
Oh yeah?
Even the Passover.
Okay. Okay.
Crossing up the Red Sea, everything.
Yeah. Hey. I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was your question?
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 22. It says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
Right, right. Okay.
So is that speaking on like for example, like we were speaking about your focus. If your focus is completely on the Most High and the Word, that thy body shall be full of light, or what specific?
Let's get it. Matthew what?
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 22.
Let me know when y'all there. We're at Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. That's the question.
If you can say comment if you have it.
6 and 22.
Yes, sir.
Now check this out. I'm gonna read it out of the Complete Jewish. I don't know if y'all got this, but it's a Complete Jewish Bible. And it's kind of saying the same thing. It says the eye is the lamp of the body. So if you have a good eye, that is, if you are generous, your whole body will be full of light. But if you have an evil eye, if you're stingy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? See that? So like if you're not a giving person, then if you don't have it in your heart, in your spirit at all to give, to help your brother out, to help a sister out, then you got a lot of darkness in you, man. You see that? If it's not even in you a little bit, then you got a lot of darkness in you. That's how this is going, right? But it said if you're, read it again out of there, out of KJV.
This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
Right? So if you're focused on the Most High in Christ, if that's what you got your mind on, your whole body's going to be full of light. If you're thinking on what would Christ do in this situation, what would he have me do in this situation, your whole body's going to be full of light, full of goodness, full of wisdom. Y'all see that?
Sir. God.
But it said if your eye be what?
If your eye, if thine eye be single, thy body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness.
See that? If you got an evil eye toward everything, if everything you see and do is you take it negative, right? What's that scripture? To the pure, all things are pure. Was it 1 Timothy 1:15? Or Titus 1:15? Let's get that Titus 1:15. Because it goes right along with that.
Titus chapter 1 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
This is Titus chapter 1 and verse 15. Unto the pure, all things are pure.
There we go. Right? So to the pure, all things are pure. But check this out. Read.
But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing.
To them whose eye is full of darkness, right? They got a dark eye, an evil eye toward everything. Y'all see that? Lachma, read that.
I haven't got it yet, sir.
Titus
Go
chapter
ahead,
1.
read on. I
Titus,
just seen he was taking notes.
Titus chapter 1 and verse 15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure.
See that? To those that their eye is full of darkness, nothing is pure to them. Everything is, you're trying to destroy me, like advice, counsel, right? Is all, that's, you always got something negative to say about me. No, I always have something to tell you to help you be a better person.
Right.
Why not look at it like that? See that? brothers and sisters get in relationships. Brother always looking at her like she must be sleeping around on me and this and that. Like, what is your eye on? Is your eye single? Is it stuck on Christ and letting all those things fall in line with you? Or is your eye on your material things and what you got? And I got to make sure that I keep my woman in order my way and all this stuff. If your eye is single, if it's stuck on Christ, everything else is going to want to fall in line with you. See that? If you deal with your relationships the way Christ would have you deal, according to the Bible, your relationship will stay. You don't have to worry about her stepping out. You're already on top of that. I keep the hedge around her. I get into her brain. I prick the heart. I do all those things. I give her counsel. I treat her, dwell with her according to knowledge. If I'm doing all those things, I ain't got to worry about her stepping out on me. See that? Sister, he's gonna go see the other girl. He's gonna go talk to this one. Why is your focus on him? You're supposed to be focused on Christ. See that? If your mind's on Christ, you ain't got to worry about what he's doing. See that? Because you're gonna be the only one he wants. Because every man wants a good Christian girl. You know what I mean? He want the good girl that's gonna be stuck on not in my phone, not in my business, right? But on the business of Christ, on the business of the Most High, and trying to be pleasing to him. If she can please him, shoot, she please me easy. My standards are way lower than the Most High's.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, look, I ain't wrote no book this thick on my standards. See that? So obviously his standards are way higher than mine. Y'all see that? If you strive to please the Most High, you gonna get me easy. Right. My standards is like make me a sandwich. The end. I'm in. You know what I mean? If you did all this, you got me. See that? So you don't got to keep wondering about what this person's doing, what that person's doing. Let your eye be single. Let it be focused on the Most High in Christ. See that?
Yes, sir.
But to the defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. See that? Why? Read it.
But even their mind and conscience is defiled.
Because see, like he said, how great is that darkness? Now, even your mind and your conscience are defiled. Not just the things you look at are defiled, but now the way you think about them is defiled. Your conscience, when you're not around those things and you're just thinking on your own, you're still thinking of all the negative about that person or about that situation or about, people losing the truth. Right? People lose jobs, lose cars, lose money, lose family, lose this. And then they get further and further in the truth, and that's all they think about. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys are going to make me stop doing what? Now I got to stop smoking too? I done lost my family. I done lost my friends. Like, damn. We're just trying to help you not lose your life. You know what I mean? On top of all that loss. See that? Hey, listen, you got to cut out the pork. Oh, not the pork too? Come on, man. I done gave up everything, right? Like, no, why are you looking at everything defiled? Why aren't you looking like Paul did and saying, I count all things that I've lost as gain? Y'all see that? Like, I'll count all things as lost that I may gain Christ. Why don't you look at it like that? Like, yeah, Christ took that away from me because he didn't want it in my life. He took that evil female away from me so he could give me a better one. I'll wait for that. Like Job did. You know what I mean? I'll wait, okay, he took those things away from me. I'll wait till he give me back double. In his way, not my way.
Right.
Y'all see that? Like I said, especially on the relationship, because that's what kills a lot of people. Yeah, you might have to take it out, because it's going real hard for some reason.
Is that good?
Yeah. But like I use that relationship thing, man, because a lot of people that's their hang up, especially now, man. This new wave, man, is being taken out by women and women they lost and women they want and things like that. Is like, well, why don't you wait for Christ to give you it his way? Why don't you wait till he gives you a woman that meets his standards? Right. See that? Like I told you, man, ain't none of y'all got a book this thick full of your standards. Christ is trying to give you a woman or for you sisters, he's trying to give you a man that meets all these standards, meets all these criteria. Right. You want the one with the six pack and that's it.
Okay.
You want the one with the fat booty and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, your standards are low as hell, man. You need to get somebody that meets up to this. Y'all see that? They're going to easily please you in all things. See that? But see, that's the thing, is if all you're seeing is what you lose, what you done lost, you're never going to see that Christ is waiting around the corner to give you and give you and give you. Like he promised you. He said he'll give you pressed down, shaken together to overflowing, right? He said that what you lost all these things. What do you have? What are you going to have? Right? What did he tell the apostles? He said, you're going to sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So yeah, you giving up everything. Good. You really didn't give up nothing, because most of us, like Revelation said, you was filthy and wretched and naked and poor. But you feel like you gave up something. You know what I mean? You feel like that was the love of my life. She's gone now. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't. Your life isn't over yet. You can't say that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't say that was the love of your life until you're dead. You know what I mean? If you're with the person, then you drop dead, okay, that was the love of your life, because now you're gone. See that? But you can't be 20 years old. That was the love of my life. That's all you got.
Right.
Y'all see that?
Come.
She ripped my heart out. No, you good? It's still beating. You know what I mean? That's gonna happen. Y'all understand?
Come.
So we gotta not let our mind and our conscience become defiled. You see that?
Come.
And that way our eye will not be full of darkness. And that way everything we see won't come in as darkness. It won't defile our mind. It won't defile our conscience. Y'all see that?
Yes, sir.
So hopefully that answered the question. Now, that was in Matthew 6 and 22, you said?
Yes, sir.
Right, so the question was in Matthew 6 and 22. Let me pull this over because we get questions on here too. Alright, Acts 15 and 29. If somebody could get that real quick, we got a question from Mr. Angus Wengus. Acts 15:29. What is meats offered to idols? And what is things strangled? So let's get that real quick.
Acts chapter 15, verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
That ye abstain from meats offered to idols,
Okay.
and from blood, and from things strangled.
Read up at 28, 27?
Verse 28. Acts chapter 15, verse 28.
So the question is, what is meats offered to idols and what is things strangled? So let's get that let's get this scripture and find out what his question's coming from. Acts chapter 15, verse 28 and 29. Go ahead, read that.
For it seemed good to the Holy Spirit and to us to lay upon you no greater burden than these necessary things, that ye abstain from meats offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strangled, and from fornication, from which, if ye keep yourselves, ye shall do well.
Right, so he's talking about, he said meats offered to idols, right? So when you look in all through the scriptures, you got a lot of, like you can go into the Apocrypha. We'll get that real quick. When you go into this one called Bel and the Dragon, right? And this is one of the stories of Daniel in the Apocrypha. Everybody got one of these? Yeah, y'all got an Apocrypha? Have you been there before?
No, I just came in today.
Oh, okay, brother. All right. Yeah, this is the books they took out of the Bible. So there's actually 80 books that were in the Bible. 66 of them made the I guess you could say the cut around 1861, 1866, something like that. But in that time, they decided that men decided that these books were non-canonical or non-holy. So they took 14 books out of the original Bible. All right? And we have a book called the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. And when you look up the word Bible under King James Version, it tells you that King James appointed 57 scholars. I'm sorry, he nominated 54 scholars, the best scholars of that time, to translate the Bible into all the various different languages, right? And he appointed, and only 47 of them took part in the work, right? But he appointed them into 3 groups. He had a group for the Old Testament, a group for the New Testament, and he had a group for the Apocrypha. So until 1611, this was in the original Apocrypha. All right, we're talking about 100 years after Christopher Columbus discovered America. We're talking about 10 years before the official start of the transatlantic slave trade. This was still in the Bible. All right? But at that time, the Nicene Council in about, I think it was like 18, if I'm not mistaken, I think I've got the name, the date 1861 in my head. But if that's not right, you can look it up. But it's called the Nicene Council, the Council of Nicaea. No, that was before. That was way before. This was a whole different council. But this was in 1860, where they decided this was non-canonical or non-holy. All right, and that's the thing. These are holy books. They belong in the Bible. They weren't supposed to be taken out. But if somebody can grab him one real quick, man, or share one with him so he can see where we're at.
Come. Yeah, that was 1885.
1885.
Yes, sir.
Huh.
So the Apocrypha was a part of the King James Version for 274 years until being removed in 1885 AD.
Right. So if you go in that story, Bel and the Dragon, I'm just starting at verse 11. But basically the story of Bel and the Dragon is the king Nebuchadnezzar. He's talking to Daniel and he's basically showing these different gods that the Babylonians worship. And he sets him before this. He sets him before one that's a statue, one that's what they call a dragon, or probably be like we call a Komodo dragon, probably a big lizard or something like that, right? He puts him before that, and he's showing them these as their gods, and Daniel's laughing like, come on, man, this thing can't even walk, right? Oh well, no, and the king's convinced. No, we put all this food before the statue. And every morning, right, we come in and the food is gone, right? He eats it, right? So, Daniel basically tells him, listen, go ahead and kick everybody out, right? Put the food down, kick everybody out, kick all the priests out, and he scatters a bunch of basically sawdust all over the floor, right? And then he has the door sealed so nobody can get in or out, right? Well, once he opens up the doors, and you can read that story, Bel and the Dragon. Once they open up the doors in the morning, the king sees the food gone again, and he ate it again, right? I told you, right? Daniel says, look at the floor. And he sees all these little footprints of men, women, children, right? And basically the priests of this god, they basically come in through a trap door in the temple, and they come up underneath the temple. They come in and eat all the food and go back under. So that's how they feed their little families. See that? So, basically it goes on and the king has them killed and all that. But when you read that story, man, this is verse 11. He said, so Bel's priest said, lo, we go out, but thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine and shut the door fast and seal it with thine own signet. So they used to put food before these other gods, right? If you go to a lot of these Oriental countries, especially China, Japan, they'll go to their shrine of their elders or something like that, or their ancestors or whatever god they're into, Buddha and all that. They'll put oranges or they put fruits or something like that. Put what are those little buns, sticky buns and stuff? They'll stack that up in front of this god. You know what I mean? And that's in oblation to these gods. Now, if you eat that, what Paul's showing you is that you got to keep away from eating to those gods, because you're basically participating in that worship, in worshiping those gods.
Right.
So, it's the same as when you go I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I don't celebrate no Christmas. But yeah, Grandma, I'm coming over for that turkey. Well, you celebrating Christmas, bro, because to them, that ain't no different. You see that? You still celebrate with them. Oh yeah, I don't take part in none of that celebration of Easter and all that. But yeah, look, Pastor Ham, you take part in the celebration. You understand? So that food offered to idols is what that's talking about. When you celebrate that Christmas, Easter, all that stuff, and chowing down on their little feasts, all right? And to show you that the Most High didn't have joy in that, give me Amos 5:21. Amos in the Bible, chapter 5, verse 21. But yeah, you can read that Bel and the Dragon, man, and he goes and, they got the other dragon, and he comes in, and the king showed him that, and this is our God that we worship. He said, listen, I could kill your dragon without even using a sword. You know what I mean? And he makes this slime and this pitch and this hair and balls it up, and he puts it in the dragon's mouth, and in the morning that thing done blown up. You know what I mean? He's like, these are your gods that you worship. You know what I mean? So he basically proves to him who the one true God is. All right? And this is after he done already cast him into the fire. Daniel been in the lion's den. He's still having to prove that, listen, this is the one true God. You understand? But yeah, you can check that out, brother. Mr. Angus Wengus. And then he also talked about things strangled, though we'll get to that. Read Amos 5:21.
Amos chapter 5 and verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
Right. See that? So he doesn't like our feast days, man. The stuff we establish. And that's talking about, like I said, we established Christmas, right? We established Easter. We established these things. That's what men did. You understand? Or that's what men without the Spirit did. We'll say it like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't have any spiritual, biblical meaning, right? There's no fat white man that jumps down your chimney every 25th of December and busts out a bunch of presents and throws them under your little tree, right? This 400, 500 pound plus man isn't riding on those 8 tiny reindeer that skip across the sky. It's not happening. You understand? Right. So we know these things aren't true, but then what do? You sit down there, you watch the Christmas special, and you eat the feasts to these gods. Y'all see that? So he hates and he despises our feast days. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Mm-hmm. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them.
See, he won't accept them. When you offer up them fat beasts and all that, he does not accept them. Read on.
Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts.
Right. Oh, this is for Thanksgiving. I'm thankful to God for everything he's given me. He ain't accepting that.
Right.
Y'all see that? He gave you lamb and bullocks, and you gonna give him a turkey, a common animal? You know what I mean? You ain't even gonna give him something rare at least. You gonna give him a turkey and a pig. Really? See that? That's why he won't accept that. He gave you what he wants. He told you, he gave you a list. This is what I want. I want doves, I want pigeons, I want bulls, I want lambs. And you gonna give him a pig. A garbage disposal.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you're gonna make sure your girl get the Tiffany bag or the Coach bag. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna give her something she didn't ask for. You see that? You gonna make sure your man get the Louis Vuitton tie this year, the Louis Vuitton belt this year. You ain't gonna give him a damn garbage disposal. Right. Yeah, here's your garbage disposal. Hook that up. Merry Christmas. But you gonna do that to the Most High? You gonna offer him up a garbage disposal? Y'all see that? So hopefully this helps him with that. And what you got?
I got that 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 4.
That's what I wanted to go to. Go there.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 4. It says, as concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols.
Right, so we're at 1 Corinthians 8 and verse 4. So hopefully you can write that down in your notes too. That would be good. Go ahead.
We know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other but one. No other God but one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we don't do that. We don't deal with things that are offered up to idols, because there's only one God. There's only one Lord, one power over all Israel. One God delivered us out of Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, and everywhere else. Y'all see that?
Con.
So we don't need to offer up to no Buddha, whatever, Puff the Magic Dragon, whatever you want to pick out of the sky. We don't need to offer up to that. They never helped us.
Come.
All right. So yeah, he said that answered this question there. You can go to Exodus 22 and 31. You see that we didn't eat things that were torn of beasts. We didn't offer those up. We didn't do that. When those things that are torn of beasts, that are strangled, when you choke an animal to death, it dies in fear. That fear hormone gets all in the meat and everything like that. So we don't eat things like that. All right. So those are some things. Hopefully that'll help answer your question on Acts 15:29. Another question from Robert Sanders. Out of the 144,000 sealed under protection, with that group being saved, would that be only men or women and children included? Go to Revelation chapter 7. All right, so we're going to Revelation chapter 7 because this is where you read about that 144,000. This is going to be perfect for y'all if you run into Jehovah's Witnesses, because they swear only 144,000 is getting into the kingdom of heaven, right? And then you know, if you're not a thinking person, you're going to be like, oh, okay, so I got to be part of you Jehovah's Witnesses because that's how you get in. Well, why don't you ask them, how many Jehovah's Witnesses have there been in history? Since you guys were founded in the late 1800s, how many Jehovah's Witnesses have there been? And does that mean that everybody that was not a Jehovah's Witness, since it was only founded in the late 1800s, right? Does that mean that none of them are getting in? Including the 12 apostles, which he promised were going to sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So you got to ask them stuff like that. And then you got to explain to them how there's more than 144,000 Jehovah's Witnesses. So you might be a little late. You might not be getting in. You might want to pack up your watchtower and just hang it up. See that? Because you ain't getting in now. But where you at?
Revelation chapter 7 verse 4.
Hold that. Where were you? You had a question?
No, I was just going to say I studied with Jehovah's Witnesses years and years ago.
Right.
And I asked the lady, how do you know you're one of the 144,000? And she said she knew that she was, that they all knew who they were. So,
Really?
yes.
Okay. So she knew she was, but she was still talking to you. She knew who she was, and they know who they are, but she's still talking to you to convert you over to being a Jehovah's Witness. Well, if I'm one of them, I would have known already, right? Yeah, or if all the 144,000 know what you talking to me for, let me watch my stories. The hell off my porch, right? Let's read that. Let's see who the 144,000 actually are. What's that?
Now I was going to pull about people knowing if they're the chosen, because obviously Paul came back and said something different.
Right, we don't know.
God.
Well, get that.
God, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 12. 2 Corinthians
Y'all
chapter...
got it?
Con.
2 Corinthians 7 and 12?
If you can say comment if you have it.
Con.
2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 12. For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with the with the some that commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves.
Now this was Paul. He was personally handpicked by the Spirit of Jesus Christ after he kicked him off a donkey. Right?
Con.
He's saying, I dare not make myself of that number. Now, that means Jehovah's Witnesses are greater than Paul? Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all see that? He said, I dare not make myself of that number. Was that the end of that? Go ahead.
But they measuring themselves by themselves.
See, they measure themselves by their own standard. See that? I'm a good person. I'm getting in. No, you're not. There's plenty of good people in hell right now. You know what I mean? There's plenty of good people getting blown away by tornadoes, drowning in floods, dying horrible deaths because they thought they were good people. See that? Christ said there is not one good. No, not one. And he was saying that when somebody called him good. Y'all see that? Question, sis?
Yes, I'd like to know when you went back to the chapter and the verse there, he's talking about
Oh, in Revelations or in this verse?
In this particular verse.
Oh, well, that's the number. That's the number he's referring to. We dare not make ourselves of that number, right? That watch. Read it again.
Con, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with the some that commend themselves.
See, we don't make ourselves of that number, that 144,000. Now, that's not. We're gonna go into who the 144,000 are, but those are the ruling body. It's not the 144,000 are going to be the only one to make it. It's going to be the 144,000 ruling over that 1/3 of Israel. You understand?
Con.
Right. So I always do the math on this. You take 6 billion people in the world, cut that in half because half of them are Israelites, the other half are nations, right?
God.
Now you got 3 billion people left on the earth. 2/3 of those are going to get killed. Killed by the Most High in Christ. Alright? Put down the wrong fingers. Alright? 2/3 of those are going to get killed by the Most High in Christ. Alright? Because they're wicked, they don't want to follow stuff like that, right? So now you got 1 billion people left on the earth. Are left to inherit that kingdom. Alright? Over them is going to be 144,000 rulers. Alright? They're going to be the governing body of that 1 billion people. Alright? And those billion people are going to take precedence over all the nations. They're going to be able to set the laws and everything for the nations and regulate this earth. Alright?
God.
And then on top of them, you're going to have the 12 apostles that reign, that sit on those 12 thrones. Over them, Christ. Alright?
God.
I'll wait for that.
Alright, go ahead, sis.
From the apostles, will they be like kings?
Something like that, yeah. Well, those 144,000 that reign over Israel will report and get their orders from them. Alright? Was that it? Oh, go ahead.
And comparing themselves among themselves
See,
are not
compare-
wise.
They compare themselves among themselves. That's their standard. Instead of the Bible is the standard, what's Sister Johnson doing today? Her dress don't look prettier than mine. She ain't getting in. Right? They compare themselves by low human standards. Y'all see that? So this is in that they don't think right. Go ahead.
Verse 13. But we will not boast of things without our measure.
See, we're not going to boast of things without our measure. We're not going to act like we're getting in. Even when they came up, right? The woman came up and said, can my son sit on your right hand and your left hand in the kingdom? He said, that's not mine to give. Christ said that.
Right.
He said, I can't guarantee you that. Y'all see that?
God.
Like, I can't give that out. That's for the Most High to give out. Y'all see?
Come.
Right, so we got to know that we can't dare make ourselves of that number. All right? But these Jehovah's Witnesses swear they of that number already. Y'all see that? When you go to the churches even, they be like, oh, I'm saved. You sitting right here on this doomed planet with me. What are you talking about? You saved. A tornado hit, we all dead. What you talking about? You ain't saved from nothing. Christ said, he that endured to the end shall be saved. It ain't the end yet. Y'all see that? Where you at? I'm going to get you in a second.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
But according to the measure of the rule which God hath distributed to us, a measure to reach even unto you.
Right. So this is what we weigh ourselves by, is this rule, the Bible. All right? That's how we set ourselves and say, hey, am I on that number? No, I still got pride. I still got lust. I still got envy. I still lie. I still cheat. See that? So I knock all these things out. So I meet this standard right here. I don't get to call myself of that number. Y'all see that? Right. Now let's go to Revelation. What's your question, sis?
I think a lot of people I run across and they feel like the earth is hell, like, but I had learned in here that it's heaven, so like which one is it? Because I'm confused. Like, is it heaven and hell or hell or?
This right here that we're on is a type of hell. Alright? If you look up any definition of any word, it usually has more than one definition, right? So you got hell, I'm catching hell today. Did fire literally burn you and your house alive and you're still living and you're burning and running around just on fire? No, right? You're catching hell in a condition. You're conditioned in this battle. See that? So in that, you're using it as a phrase. So you got your condition on earth. Then you got the actual spiritual hell where your spirit goes after the judgment. You understand? And then, so you got the physical, right? And you got the spiritual hell, right? And then you got where people dig too far down in the earth and everything. They count that as hell, right? The scriptures show you that when you're buried, you go down to Sheol, the pit, right? Which is also known as hell. So that is one form of hell. So you got them three types. All right. Same with heaven, right? You can look up in the sky. Those are the heavens, right? Your girl gave you the first kiss that you've been waiting for after 2 years. I'm in heaven, right? Then you got the actual heaven where the Most High and the angels dwell that you don't see. Y'all see that? So there's three types. So yeah, they're partially right. That yeah, on earth this is hell, but there's a hell after that. That's why when we read 2nd Ezra the other day, 2nd Ezra 6 and 56 and 57, while we lived and considered iniquity, and committed iniquity, we consider not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. See that? So right now you're in hell. You keep acting up. There's worse than this. If you can imagine that. See that? There's worse than having to go to a 9 to 5 and a 5 to 9 and pay a 50-year check on taxes and give the rest to your girl that left you with your baby. And you know what I mean? There's worse than that. That's part of hell. You understand? For me, personally, hell would be having to come right back here. That would be hell to me. Like, what did I do to deserve that? You know what I mean? I don't mean here in class. I mean to this world, man. You know what I mean? But, you know, the thing is everybody's got a different definition of hell. But there's those three that are the true. You got your condition on earth, the actual physical, the actual spiritual realm in hell. All right, made for the devil and his angels, as Christ said. And then you got the hell, which is considered the pit where you get buried, the ground.
So when it speaks about Hades, the wisdom of Solomon, is Hades is that the because there's a scripture in verse 2. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, "For they reason unsoundly, saying to themselves, short and sorrowful is our life, and there is no remedy but the life comes to its end. And no one has been known to return from Hades." So is that
Yeah.
you go? Is that's it?
That hell. When they call it Hades, you're reading it out of the annotated, right? Yeah. When you let me see, what's that in your Wisdom of Solomon what?
Chapter 2.
Yeah, because the annotated is going according to like the Greek and everything. So they call it Hades. That's a Greek word. Wisdom of Solomon, say it again.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 1.
Okay.
Actually, it's spoken about it.
Yeah, here they call it the grave.
Okay.
So what more than likely what you saw in the Hebrew was Sheol. Sheol, or they call it Sheol, right? That's the pit, the ground. All right.
Where would I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Where would I find the wisdom of Solomon? Is that the
That's in the Apocrypha also.
King James? The
Yeah.
Apocrypha?
Yeah. When you look on these Apocryphas, it tells you authorized King James Version, just like your Bible. So that's another hint. Where you at?
Revelations?
Let's go to Revelation 7 to answer the brother's question, because I'm getting behind on question now. Out of the 144,000 sealed under protection, with that group being saved, will that be only men or women and children included? Read that.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
"And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000.
Right, so these people that are sealed were from all the tribes of the children of Israel. All right? So that way you know that it was from everyone, men and women included. All right. Now this ruling body, the 144,000, that's going to be men ruling over the nation of Israel. That's going to be our ruling body. All right.
God.
But did you read verse 1? You didn't read 1 or nothing like that, huh? I want the part where it tells you over nations and
Actually, that's
innumerable multitude and all that.
verse 9.
Yeah, get that.
And behold, a great multitude.
Yeah, there you go.
Which one make a number?
Right.
This is Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands.
Right. See that? So this will show you that it was an innumerable multitude, man. That's men, women, and children. All right.
God.
You can also read that in 2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40. I'm sorry, 13. Just read the whole. You can read the whole 13th chapter, but I'm gonna read from verse 11. He said, and no, not 11, 12. Sorry. Afterward, I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude. All right. He said, and there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, right, so he's basically going through his vision that he had, right?
God.
So when I jump to verse 39, it says, and whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king. So he's showing you these are Israelites, all right, representing those 9.5 tribes. So he brought two multitudes unto him, and it was men, women, and children. All right.
So in that Revelations, when it was talking about the sea gave up the great in 20 and verse 12, that's at that point right there where you're talking about before it goes any further, right? Where it said in 12, verse 12, this is 20 and 12, it says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which was the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written according to their works, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it. So it's at that point right now. What are you talking about right now? Right? Like what you just read right now. It said all that great multitude was gathered together.
Right.
So that's that time right now where everybody that was dead, whether they were doing good or bad, they're being presented before the Most High right now to be judged.
Right. There you go.
Gotcha.
Does that mean that when you pass, you actually sleep and
When you pass, you're there for a time. You're here on this earth for a time, and then the Most High recycles you basically.
Regeneration.
Right.
so in verse chapter 9, it mentions all nations
Yeah.
of Revelations.
Yeah. When you read 7 verse verse 4 through 9, you're getting every tribe of the nation of Israel.
So when it say all nations in verse 9, that's basically the
Oh, right.
tribe.
After that, well, just like he did in Esdras, after those people, he saw an innumerable multitude. Because there's people that's going to follow Christ that aren't of Israel.
Right?
That's why Christ said, many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
Right.
See that? Because there's a lot of them. When you go to Isaiah 60, you find out that they're going to be offering sacrifices to the Most High too. They're going to come up to his holy mountain and offer sacrifices. Isaiah 60, Isaiah chapter 2. You got all these different scriptures that show you they got to bend to the will of Christ. The scripture everybody knew from church, right? Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord.
Right?
See that? All of them. No matter what you speaking, what you thinking, all right, you won't confess that. Is it possible for a righteous man to enter the kingdom without ever coming to the true Bible knowledge? if he don't come to the true Bible knowledge, he wouldn't be righteous.
Come.
You see that? Go to Romans 8, I think.
Romans chapter 8.
Let me see. I'm thinking of it a different way.
Come.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
Where it says, for as many as are led of the Spirit of the Most High, they are the sons of the Most High. For ye have not received the Spirit.
yeah, it wasn't where I thought it was, but basically. I'm sure
You say?
my brain is skipping, man. Keeps happening.
22 verse 4, the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us.
Thank you.
Come. That's 8 and verse 4.
Go ahead, get that, man.
This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 4.
Y'all with me?
God.
Alright.
All right, Romans chapter 8 and verse 4. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit.
Right, see, so there is a righteousness that, Paul goes on and tells you about the righteousness without the law, like, that, you can have a form of righteousness without the law, right? But the thing is it's still going to be according to the Bible. It's still going to be according to the truth. You see that? If you, what was it, St. John 4, he tells them God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Y'all see that? So, I think it's 4 and 24.
John chapter 4, verse 24. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
Right. See that? So you gotta worship the Most High in spirit, yeah, but also in the truth. So you would have to know who Christ is, who the true Jews are, who the fake Jews are. You would have to know this knowledge. You gotta worship him in truth also. All right, but don't worry, that knowledge is getting out to the whole world. All right, that's another thing Paul goes on to say, is that their sound went into all the earth. So you don't have to worry about the little pygmies in some bush tribe in Africa or some little Amazonian what do you call them? Amazon forest land dweller. Right? You don't got to worry about them. All right? They're going to hear the truth too. So when I go on the analytics of just our YouTube channel alone, there's people watching us in countries I never even knew how to pronounce. You know what I mean? So everybody's going to hear it. It's just there's only going to be few that accept it. Many will be called, but few will be chosen. All right?
I was saying, when you actually study the history of some of the people, they already knew the truth.
Yeah.
Just because we haven't been exposed to the things they've already learned.
Right.
But when archaeologists pull up certain things, those are already things they already knew.
Right.
So
Yep.
there's nothing new under the sun.
Right. That's why they were looking for it. They already knew it was there.
Right.
He said, many will be called, and few will be chosen. What chapter?
Many are called, but few are chosen. That's in Matthews. Same one that I quoted earlier, Matthew 20:16.
Matthew chapter 20 and verse 16. Got it?
All right, this will be the last question, then we're going to go into this Revelation breakdown.
Matthew chapter 20, verse 16. So that the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen.
Got that?
I had that scripture you was talking about when Paul was saying that the Gentiles, that they didn't have the law, but they were still, their conscience was.
Go ahead, read that.
This is Romans chapter 2 and verse 14.
And this again, we're answering Research Israel's question: is it possible for a righteous man to enter the kingdom without ever coming to the true Bible knowledge?
Actually, I'm gonna go walk if I can. Verse 13. This is Romans chapter 2 and verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified.
See, not just the hearers, but the doers are going to be justified. Those that act it out, that's what makes a person righteous. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves.
See that? When a person don't murder somebody because it's just naturally in them, I don't want to murder people, then they're a law unto themselves. They keep themselves from murdering people. You don't have to come with the 10 Commandments and be like, hey, thou shalt not murder. Y'all see that? Right. So they have the law unto themselves already. See that? Right.
Verse 15. Which show their work of the law written in their hearts.
See, it's written in their hearts already. It's already in their mind not to be that way. Go ahead.
Their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the mean while accusing or else excusing one another.
Right. See, their thoughts accuse them. They're already in their mind like, oh, that ain't right. Don't do that. See? Why, hey, remember when you did that before? That was wrong. Don't do that. It's accusing or excusing. Hey, yeah, what you did right there, that was just. That was righteous. You should keep doing that. See that? Because they're already thinking on that. They're already looking at how they live their life and trying to be right. Y'all see that?
God.
Go ahead.
In the day when God shall judge the secrets of men by Jesus Christ according to my gospel.
Uh-huh.
Behold, thou art called a Jew, and retest in the law.
All right, so before that, he said that those people that their conscience is excusing or accusing them, right? Christ is going to deal with them according to that measure. Now listen, you made sure you did what was righteous. See that? But the thing is, he's going to judge them according to what?
It works.
The law. He's going to open the books and see if their conscience was filled with this. Y'all see that? He's going to open up the Bible and say, okay, you did this, you did that, you did that. You were a righteous person. Y'all see that? Like I said before, a righteous man, you don't have to tell certain things. You don't got to tell him not to be a homosexual, or you don't have to tell him not to do drugs. He's righteous. Y'all see that? So when he gets the books open on him, guess what? Okay, I didn't do those things. Simple as that. You see that? But I can't judge, who's getting in and who's not. So, you know what I mean? Only the scriptures, living according to the scriptures, that's the best thing I can say, man. But Paul said the righteous shall scarcely make it. They barely gonna make it. Y'all see that? So where's the ungodly and the sinner gonna appear? Where's the people that rejected the Bible gonna appear? Y'all see that? Alright. So yeah, if y'all got any other questions, I don't think I've seen you before either, sis, but welcome. Welcome to the school. You know about what we teach and everything? Very little? Okay, alright. Brief catch up then. We're the 12 tribes. We are a nation of people coming back to who we are. Alright? We're not a religious group, we're not a religious organization, because those institutions, they were set up to keep our people down and hold them back from the truth of God in Christ. Alright? So what we do is we show those people scattered throughout North, Central, and South America, on this side of the planet, of so-called Negroid and Indian descent, that they're the true 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Alright? So if you're a so-called Negro, West Indian, Haitian, Dominican, Guatemalan, to Panamanian, that whole land range, if you're a Puerto Rican, a Cuban, Argentinian to Chilean, a Seminole Indian, a Native American, or a Mexican, those people scattered throughout North, Central, and South America, we're here to teach them that they are the true biblical Israelites according to the Bible. Alright? And we got to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of God in Christ so that we can be a nation of people to him again. Give me that Hosea 4 and 6 real quick. Because these are God's chosen people. You know, a lot of times they try to show you that, oh, God loved everybody. Jesus loved everybody. If God loved everybody, how come he killed all the people in the flood? See that? You know about Noah's Ark and all that, right? Yeah, all those people he killed, obviously he didn't love them. He drowned them in water. That's a horrible way to die. You don't see that? That's not love. You don't see that? Your kid don't be like, Mommy, either take me to Chuck E. Cheese or hold my head under the bathwater for like 5 minutes. That's not an option. You understand? That's not how you show love. You don't see that? So, you know, we want to come back to the love. We want to come back to saving our people and getting under that love of the Most High, where he doesn't want to kill us in the streets by police gunfire, or he doesn't want to kill us in the streets with AIDS and gonorrhea and syphilis.
Right.
You understand? We want to come back to that love, because the reason we're in the condition we are today, because we're not in a good condition. Wouldn't you agree? Right. The reason we're in that condition today is this right here. Read that.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee.
Read that one more time.
This is Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack.
So God's people are what?
Destroyed.
Now, those people call themselves Israelites over there now, or Jews today, right? Are they in a destroyed condition that you would think of? I'm asking specifically the sister, because what's your name? Alicia? All right, I'm specifically asking you because, you know, you knew. But would you consider those people in Israel today destroyed? They got their own nation, right? They got their own wealth, right? America sending them $9 million a month.
Holocaust.
You understand? Yeah, they got Holocaust reparations. Shoot, the Holocaust was what? It wasn't even like, what, 5 years?
How long it was?
Yeah, I'm trying to think how long that even was. We was in slavery for 400 years here in America, right? 430 years plus, right? Still in slavery. Still ain't seen one dime of reparations. You don't see that? But they already got reparations as soon as they got out of that Holocaust situation. That's insane, man. We're the ones in the destroyed condition, not them. You had your hand up, sis?
Yes, sir. I was reading something pertaining to the Black Holocaust, not related to slavery per se,
Right.
before that actual Holocaust. Jews.
No, you said before slavery, right?
I think it was the Black Holocaust right before the Holocaust with Hitler.
Oh, before them was us in slavery. That was the real Holocaust. You understand? We had over 300 million brothers dead. Just the black nation alone. Just the tribe of Judah alone. Alright? You got over 300 million of us killed in the slave trade. See, they tell you, oh yeah, 100 million of us ended up in slavery. Yeah. But those boats was full when they left Africa, and they was like half full when they came over here. You understand? A lot of brothers is over there swimming with the fishes.
Right.
From Africa to here. They in that Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. You understand? So they didn't make it. Then when they came over, watch Goodbye Uncle Tom. You know, they was getting all their hair shaved off of their head, right? With dull razors getting cut open, get infection. As soon as you get an infection on your head, they go right in your bloodstream, that goes right to your head, you die. You understand? As soon as they decide they're gonna cut your members off, you can bleed to death off of that. There's no healing that. You see what I'm saying? So we died a whole lot of ways. And they want to talk about 6 million Jews over there. 6 million of these Jewish people.
So-called.
Right. When there wasn't even 6 million Jewish people in all of Europe at that time.
Right.
What's that?
But I think you was talking about just blacks that was in Germany at the time that was getting killed as well. We were talking about here in America.
I think
In
it was
Oklahoma.
in Germany.
Oh, was it Germany? She just talking
Yeah.
about who's in it too.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, in Germany, though, in World War II, you're seeing a lot of their generation come up like unbelievably dark-skinned and unbelievably afro-haired, right? Because they loved us in Germany. In Hitler's time, they loved us in Germany, man. I don't heard stories of brothers was getting shipped over there to Germany to fight, and these white girls, all of these white German girls, was just lined up waiting for them to get there, and then they would switch the barracks that they were going to live in so that the white girls, so they couldn't fraternize with the Germans, right? Them girls would already know the secret location already. They'd be there lined up as soon as they got over there. See that? They still, you could go to Germany right now. A brother could go to Germany right now and pick him up 2, 3 women if he wanted to. At a time. You understand? They still love us over there. So a lot of that, what they call the Holocaust over there, was just a big hoax, man. It was really nothing for our people because Hitler was sitting over there telling his people that we were the real Jews.
But you never hear about the black soldiers.
All right, yeah. You know, they don't talk about us anywhere, though. They don't want to talk about us here in America. In 10 years, your kids are not going to know that we ever were in slavery. Your textbooks aren't saying it right now. They have one page, and it said that we were like unpaid interns. Like we picked cotton as a career choice. We just want to learn how that goes down. That's crazy, man. They don't want to tell you that they kidnapped us, right? Bought us from Africans, from Arabs, shipped us over here in ships that we were in for sometimes a year and a half in deplorable conditions where we was defecating and urinating on each other and vomiting on each other. You understand? For a year and a half. Them brought us over here, hosed us off, threw us in lie, and made us pick cotton, made us build their railroads, made us build their houses. They don't want to tell you about all that. No, you get one page and you were an unpaid intern. That's crazy. See that? So they covering up our deaths and history all over the place. They don't want to acknowledge that we built Egypt. They don't want to acknowledge that we built all these great pyramids. They erasing all that out of the history books. They've been doing that, so that ain't no surprise. What's that?
That is so true because I was watching the news today and they was talking about putting Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill, so they trying to brainwash some more. So it's kind of like referring to what you just said.
Right. Yeah, I just saw that. The Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill or something. Yeah. Like that's what you gonna give us? You know, put our face on the money instead of putting the money in our hands.
We can't even get 20s.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't pay you for slavery, but we'll put your face on the money. Okay. The money that you own, because I still ain't got my check. Come on, man. So let's go into this, though, man. Let's go into this. But you see, God's people, we're in a destroyed condition, and we got destroyed for lack of knowledge. You understand? We left off the knowledge of the scriptures, and we decided we want to do our own thing. Left off the knowledge of the Bible, went into Christmas and Easter and everything the European man sold us. You understand? That's why we're in the ghettos and the slums now, up under the European. You understand? That's why we're in our condition now. We left off of God's law, statutes, and commandments that taught us how to be clean, be holy, be civilized, and now we're in the condition we are now, where we're little beastly animals that'll shoot each other over a pair of $6 shoes. You see that?
God.
Alright, so let's get into this, and you're going to see more of it. Fake Jew Holocaust never happened like this did. Yeah, exactly. Let's get on to Revelation chapter 5. So where did we leave off? It was in verse 6, right?
Yes, sir. Actually. Yes, sir. Verse 6.
So we're going to pick up at verse 7. Now, just to recap, all right? And y'all can watch this if you missed it. We did the video, we did this class Monday. It's on YouTube now under Revelation chapter 4 and 5. All right? Now we're on Revelation. We're finishing the rest of Revelation 5, and we're going to try to systematically get through to chapter 22. All right?
This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 1. Right?
5, verse 7.
Oh, Revelation chapter 5, verse 7.
So to recap, we had that John the Revelator he was being shown this heavenly condition. He was being shown the spiritual realm, and everyone was confused at this point of who was going to be able to unlock the Bible and unseal the seals on this scroll or on these books to be able to give the understanding to all the nations, right? And Christ is the one that stepped up. And we got the understanding that Christ, being the Lamb of God, the Lion of Judah, right? He was unlocking the understanding of the Bible for everyone. Y'all see that? So at this point, this is where we're at, is that Christ has stepped up, and through his death and resurrection, he unlocked the seals and the understanding of the scripture. All right? And he unlocked the shallow and the deep understanding. Well, go ahead and read where you're at.
This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 7. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials.
Right, vials.
Vials.
Right, so you're still in verse 7?
No, that was the end of verse 7, going to verse 8.
Okay, every time you go to the next verse, make sure you say verse 8, verse 9. You know what I mean? That way I can keep track. So what you're seeing in verse 7 is Christ. He's receiving the Bible out of the hand of the Most High. He's getting this book out of the hand of the Most High. All right? And we broke that down, showing that book the Most High was holding, it was that Bible. All right? It was the scriptures. All right? You got your notes for Monday?
Yes, sir.
All right? Yeah, so that way, you make sure that when I recap, hit those scriptures. You know what I mean?
So,
yeah.
So then that would actually been going into that John, talking about Christ being the Lamb.
Right.
Right. That's that John 1:29, and then that Genesis. What is that? Genesis 49:10 through 12.
Yeah, I mean you can see it right there on let's say John 1 verse 29 that Christ is the Lamb of God.
Right.
All right. So if y'all want to write that down, you'll have that.
Gotcha.
You can go back to verse 6, Revelation 5:6.
Right.
Right. So now you're on verse 8.
Verse 8.
Go ahead.
And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 and 20 elders fell down before the Lamb, having
Right.
every one of
So
them.
for whoever was here Monday, who can tell me who the 4 beasts are?
4 archangels.
Huh?
4 archangels.
What's that called, you bet? But you got the 4 archangels, all right? Let's see, who else had their hand up? I know you got it. Sade, who was the 4 archangels?
Oh, I can barely remember, but I think it was the cow and
No, the names.
Gabriel, Uriel, Michael, Raphael.
Perfect. Gabriel, Uriel, Michael, and Raphael. Those are the 4 archangels. These are who they call them, the 4 beasts right here. All right? And we went into the Dake's commentary to show you that word in the Greek, right? It wasn't beasts. It was the living creatures. All right? So we knew these were angels, and it's Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, and Raphael. These are the 4 archangels. These are the ruling body of angels. All right? So there's order in heaven just like there's order on earth. All right? What's that?
I'm just a precept for the living creatures so that they understand that the beasts were actually.
Right. Now, that's why you got to have an Apocrypha, because you read about Uriel and Raphael in the book of Tobit. You understand? Huh?
Second Ezra.
And 2nd Esdras. Alright? That's where you read about Raphael and Uriel. What you get in the Bible, when you go to Luke, you read about Gabriel. When you go to Jude, you read about Michael. Right? Michael the archangel, when he was disputing with Satan. Right? You read about those things. So you read about those angels in the Bible, then they take the Apocrypha out and you're missing 2. Y'all see that?
God.
Question? Oh, I thought you had your hand up in the pink. No? Oh, okay. I thought you had your hand up. It's all good. What's that?
Gabriel, what chapter was that?
Huh?
What chapter was Gabriel?
Gabriel's Luke, what's that, chapter 1? Should be chapter 1. They'll get it for you. What's that, sis?
Which angel is mentioned the most in the Bible?
Mention the most. Couldn't say. I couldn't say. Probably Michael. But
Luke 1:26.
Thank
yeah, I'd have to say Michael on that one. That was Luke what?
Luke chapter 1 and verse 26.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 26, and that's going to show you about Gabriel,
Gabriel.
Archangel,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. So these are good to have so everybody knows, okay, these are those top ruling class angels. This is who they're talking about. It's not talking about the beast, and there was 4 of them. You understand? When you read that word beast right there, in that part of the scripture, it's not talking about the beast. Alright? As a matter of fact, even in the Greek, it's a whole different word. Alright? So, when you read beast there, and when you read it in Revelation chapter 13, that beast is a whole different word. Let's see. Did I put it down?
The name of the beast?
Yeah, Zoa. Z-O-A. That's what you see in the Greek. And it means living ones or creatures.
I got that precept. In Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 5.
Uh-huh.
This is Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 5 is a precept about the beast being living creatures. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man.
Right. So he's showing you, these are the angels. When you go through that Ezekiel, he's showing you they had the likeness of a man. They had that form, right? They had a head, they had 2 arms, 2 legs, right? They were humanoid looking. Go ahead.
Verse 6, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings.
Right, but they had wings, they had 4 heads. Go ahead.
Verse 7, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot.
Right, so they had a different kind of appearance, different bodily makeup. Alright? When you see the angels, they're going to be represented to you in a form your mind can handle. Alright? Where you at?
This is Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 7, last precept.
Yeah, a lot of times the angels come in that form that you can handle for the reason of, like, say if they came as black men with woolly hair, right? You might think they was trying to rob you nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, people be trying to get saved. Look, I'm trying to save you from the flood. Nah, get off me, nigga. You trying to steal my purse, right? Yeah, they would think they was trying to rob them. So sometimes people see the angels as a white man. Why? Because that's what you'll accept as good and pure and holy. You know what I mean? That's what you accept. That's what your mind can handle. Y'all see that? But this is the real appearance of the angels that you read in Ezekiel chapter 1. Oh, and what you read in Revelation. So let's go back to Revelation chapter 5.
Revelation chapter 5, verse 8. Mm-hmm. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 20 elders fell down before the Lamb.
Right, so those 24 elders are who?
The angels underneath the archangels.
Right, the angels underneath the archangels. And there's 12 for the day, 12 for the night. There are 12 that record for every hour of the day, 12 that record for every hour of the night. They report to the Most High.
I was trying to find that. Couldn't find it.
What's that?
About how they report 12 hours.
Oh, you didn't find it? We'll get it. So this is who the 24 elders are, all right? And they fall down and they worship him before Christ in this vision. Go ahead.
Sir, who are these, the elders? They are people?
Yeah, the 24 elders are 24 angels. All right? They're up under the 4 archangels. Got that? Yeah, I want it to be clear, so, and, you know, so I don't mind if y'all ask questions. I want it to be clear for y'all. Somebody else had their hand up? All right, read on.
Having every one of them harps and golden veils full of odors,
Right, they had golden vials full of odors. Go ahead.
which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
Right. See, so Christ is being praised by the redeemed, or he's being praised by those elders because he redeemed the 144,000. He saved the 144,000 from amongst all these wicked nations. Y'all see that? So he's being worshipped for that, and for worship, and for saving that 1/3 of Israel. All right. And I want you to go to Revelation chapter 14, verse 1. Did you finish that? Verse 9?
God, I did.
Okay.
Revelation chapter 14, verse 1.
You're going to read through verse 4. Because everything I'm going to say up here, so you don't think it's my own interpretation, we're going to go out of the Bible. We're going to show you that, yes, this is true, what I just said, according to the Bible. All right? Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 14, verse 1.
Somebody else give me Luke chapter 1, verse 68.
And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads.
See that? So these are the 144,000. Is the name really literally stamped in their forehead? No. They have the thoughts of the Most High in Christ. You understand? Your forehead is a representation of where you keep your brain. All right. So when they had his name stamped in their forehead, all their thoughts was on the Most High continually, like a righteous man should. All right. So these 144,000 were standing with Christ, with the Lamb. Go ahead.
And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers, harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts, and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth.
See that? So these are those 144,000 that Christ is standing with. All right. When you read that back in when you're talking about the 24 elders worshiping him, they're worshiping him for redeeming these 144,000. All right. Read on.
Verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with woman, for they are virgins.
Now, this ain't talking about they're literally never dealt with somebody, had intercourse or anything like that. Alright? It's talking about their minds are pure. Their minds have not been penetrated by any strange doctrine, any strange gods. They're pure in their minds. You understand? Y'all gotta know that. Because people be like, oh, well, I ain't getting in. I'm not gonna be part of that body because I have a kid. You know what I mean? No, that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about their minds of virgin territory. Alright? Go ahead.
For they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb.
See that? So these were redeemed from among men by Christ. Alright? Where you at?
Luke chapter 1, verse 68.
Alright, hold that.
I was going to say, when it says that these are they which were not defiled with women, they are virgins. That's kind of like when, like in the scripture where he'll say Israel has played the harlot against you.
Right.
Well, that kind of be with it because if we played the harlot, he wasn't like talking about us committing like prostitution or something like that. He meant like we playing the harlots, going after other gods or other doctrines.
Yeah, something like that.
Labeled it or now.
Go to Proverbs chapter 5. Start at verse 1.
Proverbs chapter 5, verse 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom.
Everybody got it?
Come on.
All right, we move kind of fast in here, so if we're going too fast, raise your hand. We slow down. We re-explain. All right, no problem. It's class, not church. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 5, verse 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding. Verse 2. That thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge.
Go ahead.
For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil.
See, these men, they avoided that strange woman. They avoided that strange doctrine, that strange wisdom. You understand? When you read up further in the scriptures, when you read like verse 3, verse 4, something like that, you find out wisdom is regarded as this woman, your bride, right?
She.
Yeah, it's the she that's always calling you, right? Wisdom crieth without. But these men didn't go to the strange woman, which is outside of wisdom. You understand? So it's not saying they were virgins, like they've never been, you know what I mean? Never had kids, never this, right? It's showing you that these are men that kept away from that strange woman, that strange doctrine. The one whose lips dropped like a honeycomb, gave them all kinds of flattering words, right? They didn't fall for Joel Osteen. They didn't fall for Eddie Longstroke. They didn't fall for none of these cats. All right? They didn't fall for none of that. They stuck to the path the Most High set before them. Y'all got that?
Yes, sir.
All right? You hear them saying Khan, that's Hebrew for yes. All right? Khan,
How do you spell that?
K-A-N.
Thank you.
In English, that's how you spell it. All right? And then you might hear them say la'ah, that means no in Hebrew. All right?
Whenever it was speaking in chapter 14, when it says, this is going to be verse 4, last precept, being the first fruits unto God and to the land. So back in the Old Testament, we used to give our first fruits. That was a sacrifice.
Right.
But like you said in class before that, we are the sacrifice. So we sacrifice our own lives to be. Oh, that's.
Right. So back in the day, you was giving that first fruits, not understanding that was you. That was you offering yourself to the Most High. That's a little more deepness for you. You know what I mean? Where we at?
Verse 4. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 4.
Right. Let's get back to Revelation.
So you don't want to add Luke?
Oh, right, Luke. Yeah, let's get that. 1 verse 68.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 68. Everybody got it? It's Luke chapter 1, verse 68. Blessed be the Lord, Most High of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people. Verse 69. And has risen up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
Right.
As he spake.
Read that again. Because that doesn't sink into people's head the way it needs to sometimes. That doesn't sink into the Christian mind that Jesus loved everybody. That it doesn't sink into that mind all the time. So read that.
Verse 68.
Blessed
be the Lord God of Israel.
The Lord God of who?
Israel.
The whole world?
Israel.
The Chinese?
Israel.
The white man?
Israel.
Blessed be the Lord God of Israel. The whole Bible is littered with times where the Most High said he's the God of Israel. You understand?
God.
But everybody else, they get the Bible and they're like, oh, he's my God. He's my Jesus. No, he's not. You never said that. Go ahead.
For he has visited and redeemed his people.
Right.
And have raised up an horn of salvation for us.
Right. See that? He raised up a horn of salvation for us Israelites. Go ahead.
In the house of his servant David.
Right.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophet, which had been since the world began.
You're going to read the verse 75.
That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hands of all that hate us.
See, this is what the 24 elders are worshiping the Most High for. They're worshiping and worshiping Christ at this point because He redeemed us from our enemies, from them that hate us. You understand?
God.
Go ahead.
Verse 72. To perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember His holy covenant, the oath which He swore to our father Abraham, that He would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hands of our enemies, might serve Him without fear.
Right. See, this is the same thing they're worshiping the Most High for. That we're able to serve the Most High now without fear. We don't have to worry about police chasing us. We don't have to worry about slave dogs chasing us. We don't have to worry about that no more. All right. At this time, at that time of Revelations that we're reading, we're gonna be able to worship the Most High in spirit and in truth, as often as we want, as freely as we want. Like we got our business in the mall. We got this chick actually talking to the security guards, trying to find out if we over there talking about the Bible. While they got a big giant life-size picture of a half-naked little skinny European woman, right, plastered all over Victoria's Secret. She trying to find out if we talking about the Bible, like we doing something wrong. Like really? Right in front of us is a store called Garage. They got little half-naked, big, barely adolescent, you know what I mean, barely pubescent women in half clothes on that, right? And they're showing off these little kids, basically, in half their clothes, right in front of us. But they want to try to find out if we doing something wicked by teaching the Bible. Like, really? That's what kind of world we living in? You let the tranny walk down the hallway and didn't kick him out the mall? Or her, or Shim, or whatever the hell that is? You know what I mean? You let him walk into the women's bathroom, but I can't talk about the Bible? You serious? Y'all see that? That's the kind of world we living in. So when Christ comes, we're going to be praising Him for that, man. We're going to be praising Him for delivering us from that. Where we got a world where we can actually talk. Zion.
I was about to pull Isaiah 5:21, so then they're called good evil, evil good. Wow.
It's good scripture, but not for this. I don't want to take it too far off. Go ahead.
Verse 75. In holiness and righteousness before Him all the days of our life.
Right, so this is that song that they're singing before the Most High. You understand? This is representing that song that they're singing before Christ, showing that Christ is the one that redeemed us from all these wicked things, from this wicked world. Any questions so far? Nah? What's that?
No, I was saying, actually, if we read down to 77, it goes right back to what it said in the beginning of the chapter. In 66.
Go ahead.
68. 76. And thou, child, shalt be called the prophet of the highest, for thou shalt go before the face of the Lord to prepare His way, to give knowledge of salvation unto His people by the remission of their sins.
See that? And we remember, those people, God's chosen people, are Israel. If you don't know that, give me Isaiah 45, verse 17.
Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation.
Right? See, this is why they're worshiping Him, because we got saved by Christ. We're going to get that everlasting life because of what Christ did. You understand?
God.
Go ahead.
Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end.
Right. See, we're not going to be ashamed to speak about the Most High no more. We're not going to be confounded in, why is my baby dying in the streets? Why are the police trying to kill us? Why he telling me all the way down the street just because I pulled out of my driveway? Y'all see that?
God.
We're not going to have to worry about that no more. Israel's not going to have to worry about that no more. Y'all see that?
God.
Question? Sade? Huh? Alright. So let's go back. But y'all see that they're talking about Christ in that Luke, right? And they're giving Him that honor because what he's going to do for his people. So when you're reading the Revelations, you're actually reading about what Christ was doing right then. Y'all see that? You're actually reading these 24 elders giving that worship, and that praise is going through the mouth of this person in Luke. Y'all see that? Right. Where you at? Revelations chapter 6. I'm sorry, chapter 5.
Come. Revelation chapter 5 and verse.
Now we're in verse 10.
Come. Revelation chapter 5 and verse 10. It has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. Verse 11.
See, he made us, to our God, kings and priests. You understand? That was our original. Was it thugs and niggas? What did it say?
Kings and priests.
Was it doctors and scholars?
Kings and priests.
Right. Was it NBA stars and hustlers?
Kings and priests.
Pimps and hoes?
Kings and priests.
No. He said he made us kings and priests. So whatever job you can get on this earth ain't good enough. The Most High made you a king and a priest. Y'all see that? That's your original position on this earth. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast and the elders. And the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000.
10,000 times 10,000. You're dealing with 100 million plus angels. All right? These are all giving glory to the Most High. It's an innumerable multitude of angels. And it's over 100 million angels he's talking about. What's that?
And in that 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, it correlates what you just said about us being the kings and priests of the Most High and not rappers and drug dealers.
Get that. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9.
This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. Let me know when you got it.
Because see, in my notes, I got that we will be kings and priests of the Most High. But the thing is, we already were made kings and priests to the Most High. Did y'all know that? As a black, Hispanic person, an Indian person, that you were actually made kings and priests to the Most High from your birth, by your genetics. Did y'all know that? Yeah. When you read the rest of that Hosea 4 and 6, he said that you will be no more priests to me. That you destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now you're not going to be any more priests to me. See that? But he's going to restore that to us because that was our original position. Y'all see that? So let's get that scripture. Where you at? 1 Peter 2 and 9?
Yes, sir. Before that, if you don't mind, can I get that Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5?
There you go.
This is Jeremiah.
That's the series I was going on. Jeremiah 1 verse 5, Deuteronomy. We're going to go to all that.
Right. This is Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5. Let me know when you got it.
So we encourage y'all to take good notes. If you need notebooks, we got the notebooks, pens, whatever. I should have said that at the beginning of the class. But right over there in that little column right there, we got notebooks, pads, paper, and everything like that. That way you can study everything you learn in here. And if anybody come up to you talking about, yeah, there was a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns in the Bible. I don't believe in that book. Well, you don't know what that means. Look at this. You see that? Go ahead, read where you at.
This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
See that? He ordained us a what?
Prophet unto the nations.
A drug dealer to the hood.
A prophet unto the nations.
A tap dancer for the white man.
A prophet unto the nations.
A jigaboo.
A prophet.
Right. See, he ordained us to be prophets. That's our job. Y'all see that?
God.
Ephesians 4 and 9, and then get that scripture you're at.
I'm at 2 Peter, 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9.
Oh, that's what you that's going on with him. Read that 1 Peter 2 and 9. Ephesians 4 and 9.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9.
Is it 4 and 1?
But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood.
See that? You, Israelites, are a chosen generation. Y'all see that?
God.
We can read the word correctly. Gene ration. The rationing of your genes that was given to you to be a black man, to be a Hispanic woman, to be a so-called Native American, right? that gene ration makes you of the royal priesthood. You understand?
God.
The way he rationed out your genes was so that you would be a king and a priest. Y'all see that?
God.
But what we strive to be? Basketball
Rappers.
stars? Rappers? You know what I mean? I want to be America's Next Diva. American Idol.
Serb sipper.
We are aiming too low. Our standards are too low. Like the echo. The echo comes in right on time. Where you at? 1 Peter what?
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9.
Read that again.
But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness.
Y'all see that? He called us out of darkness. See, we supposed to be praising him that called us out of darkness. These 24 elders are worshiping him that called us out of darkness. All right? Exactly. Go ahead.
Into his marvelous light.
Go ahead. Was that it? Get that other one.
Deuteronomy 7:6.
Ephesians 4.
Yeah, that too.
I heard all those, but Ephesians chapter 4 verse 9. Now that he ascended, Ephesians chapter 4 verse 1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that
we're in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 1. All right? Read that again.
Ephesians chapter 4 verse 1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthily. You walk worthy of the vacation wherewith ye are called.
Read it again. Vocation.
Vocation. Like it.
Or read it again.
I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called.
See, he wants you to walk worthy of the job you were called to. Not the job that you felt like doing. Not the job, the lack of options job that the white man gave you. You understand?
God.
Like, really? You're a 50-something-year-old janitor? That's what you wanted to be when you grew up? That's what you thought your purpose was on this earth? That's what you strove to be? Now you looking down on your people that don't got jobs? Nigga, you need to get a job. I got all the keys. What? Like, really? That's what you strove for? That's what makes you better than everybody? You way off the list. I don't care if you Oprah Winfrey and can buy countries. You fell short.
Right.
He ordained you to be a prophet of the nations, and you are not walking worthy of the vocation wherewith you were called. Y'all see that? Hopefully you don't think I'm staring at you back there. The camera's right here, so a lot of times I'm addressing the audience, and it looks like I'm looking dead at you. So I just realized you might be thinking of like pointing all at you. Where you at?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Get that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art a holy people.
You're a what?
A holy people.
Go ahead.
Unto the Lord thy God.
See that? Y'all see that, right?
Come on.
Go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
You're a what?
A special people.
A bunch of niggas.
A special
A
people.
bunch of losers.
A special people.
He chose you to be a special people. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Above all that are upon the face of the earth.
Right, above. Not in servitude to, not as employees to, but above all nations that are on the face of the earth. Y'all see that? Amos 3 and 1. Just so we know specifically that he's not talking about every nation on the planet.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 1.
Let him get it.
If you can say "con" whenever you have it.
God.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Right. See that he spoke this word against you, O children of Israel. Alright? You so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Guatemalans, the Panamanians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, the Argentinians, the Chileans, the Native Americans. Right? He said to you, O house of Israel, go ahead.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying,
What'd he say to him?
You only have I known.
You what?
You only have I known.
You only have I known. I didn't know these other nations. I didn't bother with them. I didn't have a personal, in-depth relationship with them. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Therefore, Shalakia, verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
See that? We're the ones that being punished by the Most High. There ain't no other explanation you can give that. You understand? Every other nation that was in slavery got out. We still in it. They just called it a different form. Now they call it employment. Now they call it Minimum Wage Act. Y'all see that? So now it's a whole different type of slavery. The chains is off your wrists. The chains are off your feet. The chains are in your brain now. You understand? You're like that horse that gets tied to like a stick. Like surely that horse can pull that stick out of the ground, but it was tied to a tree so long trying to get away, but it was tied by that rope so long that it stopped fighting because it knew it wasn't going to tear that tree out the ground. So now you can take that same rope and tie it around a twig that's barely in the ground, and that horse will stay right in that exact spot because that rope is still there. Y'all see that? As long as you stuck to the American way, that's that rope. As long as you stuck to the religious system, that's that rope. As long as you stuck to the educational process, that's that rope. It ain't tied to nothing. It's not tied to anything stable to hold you down, but it's still holding you down because you're letting it. Y'all see that? If you knew better, you would run free. If you knew these scriptures, you would run free. Y'all see that? But you don't. Why? Because you see in the rope. You still see the white man everywhere around you. You still see that you got to go work a 9 to 5 every day. That rope is still there. Y'all see that? Question?
Oh, no, the scripture that you said about the nations is nothing.
Nah, I didn't want that.
Oh.
Not right now. What's that?
Can I just add one more about how he only dealt with us? Gave us his law in Psalms 147.
Later.
In Revelation, it says that he said that was Christ was doing right then and there. Is that throughout the whole Revelation, or just at the beginning chapter?
When Christ was born and he lived his life, he was acting out what we're reading about in Revelation chapter 5. All right, so this, what you're seeing, has already happened and will happen. If you can fathom that, if you can wrap your brain around that.
He said it against.
What's your name, brother? What's your name?
Castle.
Huh?
Castle. C-A-S-A.
Cassie.
Yeah.
I like that. Go ahead, House.
What's the difference between the Negro that's here in America and the Negro that's still over there in the Middle East?
The Negro here in America and the Negro in the Middle East.
Right.
Well, they both in slavery. If you go to a lot of Middle Eastern countries, and especially Saudi Arabian ones, they still treat you like a slave. They're still taking our women out, kicking them, punching them, beating them. You understand? So a lot of those are the dispersed of Israel. Alright? Because you had a lot of, when we were fighting with the Africans and Arabs for over 1,500 years, a lot of us fled back up into the European countries. Along the way, we move out the way a little bit. Along the way, we're living and dwelling among people of what is called the Middle East now. A lot of our people founded the Middle East. You understand? So a lot of us were still there, but if you go there now, they still trying to clap us up and throw us in slavery. Middle Eastern countries still continue human slave trafficking to this day. You know that, right? Yeah, so they'll clap you up. You know, cats want to be like, oh, I'm going to go back to Egypt. Okay, you'll be over here soon. You know what I mean? I give it about a year and a half. You'll be back over here butt naked. You know what I mean? Getting sold to some white man or something like that. You'll be back.
So is there a difference between, I guess, the African and the Negro?
Definitely. Get that in the Zondervan real quick.
But like what he was referring to, the Negroes there, the Negroes here, they're all still the same, right?
That's why we're going here. See, we got to know this. every nation on the planet was black originally. Did you know that? Yeah, the white man, I know they gave you gods of Egypt and everybody was white. They gave you Exodus, gods and kings, and everybody was white. They give you Passion of Christ, and every Israelite is white. And everybody in the past, no matter what they give you, is white, right?
Right.
You can watch the Scorpion King, the Akkadians, right? Right. This is a civilization just after the most ancient civilization, which is Mesopotamia, right? The Akkadians, they make them all white. So everybody in history is white. If you get a portrait of Adam and Eve, or you can Google it right now, Adam and Eve, and look for the images, it's gonna be two butt-naked white people, right? So they got themselves painted back to the beginning of time. You understand? But they were a new nation. Even their own science proves that. You understand? They were a new nation of people. It comes from a lack of melanin. Alright? They weren't here all that time. All the nations of the earth were black. If you was an African, he was black. If you was a European, the original Europeans was black. The original inhabitants of Europe and Russia and Asia were black. Matter of fact, this book right here, I got Adam's chronological chart or map of history. Shows you that Noah is the founder of China. So the original Chinese was black. You understand? The whole world was. But there was still a separation of nations, according to Deuteronomy 32 and 8. All right? The Most High still divided up the nations, all those black nations. He divided them up. Now we're going to read in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary about a man named Ham. All right? You remember the flood?
Yeah.
Noah's Ark?
Right.
Who came off the boat?
Noah and Ham.
Noah and his family, right? You remember his 3 sons' names? These important names. You have one, right? Ham. There you go, Shem, right? Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Alright? Now, we're going to go into Ham. Alright? Because a lot of what was told in the slave trade by the Arabs to the white man was that, oh, it's okay to keep them as slaves. These are the cursed children of Ham that you read about in your Bibles. They was doing that. They looked at the Christian Bibles. Alright? Remember, the Bible was translated in 1611. Official start of the transatlantic slave trade was 1620. Right? So they were showing them in those Bibles, oh, these are those people, the cursed people. See that? And I got the books to prove it. All right, I got a book cost you about $2,700 right here that'll tell you that the Arabs were the ones calling us the cursed children of Ham. All right? So the white man perpetuated that. But they knew in their own books that we weren't the cursed children of Ham. Because check this out. Read that.
This is page 330 in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. It says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood.
So this is about Ham, the youngest son of Noah. He was 96 years old at the time of the flood. All right, he was a grown man, contrary to what the Noah movie told you. Go ahead.
And one of the 8 persons to live through the flood.
Go ahead.
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
He became the forefather. Progenitor means the forefather of the dark races. Right? Go ahead.
Not the Negro.
What? Huh? Isn't the Negro a dark race? Right? But it says Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, except the Negro. Well, I thought we were all one, man. I thought we was all black brothers.
Not the Negro.
Not the Negro. We different. All right, go ahead.
But the Egyptians.
But the Egyptians, so the Egyptians were a dark race. They know that. Go ahead.
The Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians are a dark race, but they obviously aren't Negroes. Go ahead.
The Libyans.
The Libyans. Go ahead.
Canaanites.
Canaanites, the South Africans, the North Africans. Go ahead.
And it says in Genesis chapter 10, verse 6 through 20, it explains that.
So he went through the Egyptians, the Libyans, the Ethiopians, right? They're a dark race, but they're not Negro. You could have a Libyan come over and call him brother. See what happens. A Kenyan. Hey, brother, what's up? We're not brothers. You know what I mean? If you want to be brothers with an African, look up all the tribes in Africa. And you go ahead and pick which brothers you want. You want the Dinka tribe that's taking cow urine showers,
Right.
circumcising their women, blowing up cows' buttholes to make them lactate. That's what you want to be descended from? Everybody want to be an Egyptian, right? When they watch the movies, they see the pharaohs walking around with no shirt on, right? Six pack. But history tells you that most of the civilization of Egypt was obese, just like America. But every time you see an Egyptian, right? Every time you see Kemet, they paint themselves out as having six packs and pecs, right? But most of them was obese because all they did was sit back and eat. Y'all see that? We was building their whole country. They didn't have to do nothing. We were the slaves. They didn't have to do nothing but get fat. Y'all see that? So he was the father of the dark races, but not the Negro. You get that? So we're a whole different race. Now, check this out. This is a book called Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. All right? You can look this book up right now. It'll cost you anywhere from $300 used to $2,600 brand new. All right? I'm on page, I think it's 55. Make sure real quick. Right, here we go. Page 55, it says, one of the Arabic words for slave was abd, right? A-B-D, which in Hebrew is ibad, right? Means servant in Hebrew. They called it slave, abd, all right? So Arabic and Hebrew are very closely related. One of the Arabic words for slave, abd, eventually became fixed as a specific term for a black slave. And in some dialects, it came to be used as the term for blacks in general. Some Arab authors found sanction for the advancement of black slavery in Noah's outburst against his son Ham. See that? So they advanced slavery by using this, saying that, hey, when Noah cursed Ham, these are his sons. Alright? It said, when he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. You see that? So they was using that, saying, these are those people. Meanwhile, leaving all the servant of servants, the Africans, the true Africans, leaving them in their land. The Africans was actually selling Jews into slavery. To show you that there is a difference, go to that Babylon to Timbuktu. We're going to read page 84.
This is Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. It says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under the general Pompey.
Right now, these are all history books. All right, these are all books by noted scholars. We're not getting common books that that just some anybody wrote. Right? Most of the people that wrote these got doctor in front of their name or friar or something like that. People dedicate themselves to their history. All right. What's that, sis?
What author was that book that you have?
This one is Ronald Sanders. And there's many books like this. It's not restricted. We use many books so we can show you that, hey, we didn't just pull one book and ride off of that. You know what I mean? Or we didn't just watch a YouTube video and all of a sudden become scholars. We do this. You understand? Where you at?
This is Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. Middle of the paragraph. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
So if you read in history, you'll read about Titus, the emperor of Rome, Vespasian, his son, who was a general. They came and put an end to the Jewish state in 70 AD. All right? So 70 years Anno Domini, not before Christ, but after his death. Go ahead.
With great slaughter.
With great slaughter. Go ahead.
During the period of the military government of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
They fled where?
Into Africa.
Wait a minute. Why did these bright white Jews flee into black-ass Africa?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. You trying to hide. Why do you go to Africa? There's many questions you could ask that about. Why? Okay, wait a minute. When they was trying to hide Jesus,
Right?
Why were they bringing his lily white butt into Egypt
Right.
Right.
with a bunch of Africans?
Right.
You trying to hide him, right?
Con.
Why did you go hang out with Africans to hide? Because they was dark as you. Y'all see that?
Con.
Moses.
Yeah, Moses, same thing. Floated him down a basket. They was killing all the Hebrew babies at the time, the Hebrew males. He floated right up into the heart of Egypt, into the damn court of Egypt. And they raised him up like a son. They couldn't tell the difference. Y'all see that?
Con.
Why? Because he wasn't bright light. He was a dark-skinned brother. What's that, sis?
Well, logically thinking, if you would think about it, if the Africans were European, Jews were European looking, wouldn't Africa today be a lot lighter from black people?
It should be, right? It should be, but it's not. Africa's still a bunch of dark people down there, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, why is there not a difference now? See that? Now, we're showing you, and I'm going to get to your question, but I'm going to let him read the rest of this real quick. We're showing you through these books that, yeah, there is a difference between Africans and the Negro. There's a difference between other dark races like the Arabs and the Negro. The Mongols and all these different things. There's differences between all these dark races and the Negro. All right? Go ahead.
Fleeing Roman persecution and slavery.
So we fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. We ran away from white people to go hang out with other black people. We didn't run up into Rome. We didn't run up into, to hide as a nation. We didn't run up into Europe. We ran down to other Africans. You understand? Or to other black people. We'll say it like that. Go ahead.
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
What was full of black Jew slaves?
The market.
The
What?
slave markets. So who was those being sold in slavery?
Black Jewish slaves.
See that? What was the other question?
Yeah, so I was going to say, so Ham was the father of the dark skin, then the father of the Negroes would have been, I'm guessing, one of the other two brothers?
Shem. See that? Remember, all the nations was dark skinned at the time. Right. What they did was exclude that Shem. See, the so-called white man only knows to a certain extent. Their logic is the white man had to come from somewhere. He came from one of these three brothers. So Black Noah just popped out a white son and the other two was dark. How'd that happen? See that? Noah was a righteous man, so he didn't get cursed. All three of those sons that came off of that boat was as black as Noah was himself. But the white man's trying to reason that, we had to come from somewhere, so Japheth was the white man. You know what I mean? Or Shem and Japheth were the white man, and Ham was the dark-skinned people. No. Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. So that puts it on either Shem or Japheth, right? Since they're saying Japheth is white, well then we came from Shem. Cool. You see that? We're the chosen people. Right, because from Shem's line, you end up with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The chosen people. That's the earth giving forth her knowledge, man.
But then later on, that's when, I guess, over millions of years.
No, not millions. Don't let them fool you.
Right.
Right.
Over a number of years,
Right.
they found themselves being harlots to other people and their religions, and then that's what led to the overall lack of certain features, lack of certain skin, lack of ability, and
You talking about who?
the Negro. How they were able to disperse and then take on so many different physical characteristic traits around the world.
I guess you could say like,
I mean, I guess my question is, if you go somewhere and you can see Negroes in Asia and Russia and South America and everywhere, and they look very, very similar to the people there, and that's my question, what?
right, that's just through mixing. You know what I mean? Like if you go get a Chinese girl right now, your kid gonna come out with some slanted eyes. You know what I mean? He gonna come out with some features. A little lighter skin, right? Yeah, that's through just mixing together. But this same book, and there's another one called Nature Knows No Color Line, will show you that climate and the region of Earth you live on does not determine your skin color. I can still watch the sun.
So the curses is what really
that was just gonna happen again through intermixing. That's not that skin color change. Those people over there that are pale like that, they're not the real Jews. So you gotta understand that. All right. Give me Isaiah 29 to 22. You gotta understand that those people over there are not the real Jews. All right, at all. So they just have our characteristics, meaning they took on our language, our character, our traditions, but they are not the genetic Jews. All right. Matter of fact, the Bible tells you that. Their own laws tell them this. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 22. Therefore, thus saith the Lord.
What did the Lord say?
Who redeemed Abraham.
The Lord who redeemed Abraham. Go ahead.
Concerning the house of Jacob.
Uh-huh.
Jacob shall not.
You know Jacob, his name became Israel, right? So he's saying concerning Israel, Israelites, go ahead.
Jacob shall not now be ashamed.
It will not now be ashamed. Go ahead.
Neither shall his face now wax pale.
Right. And his face is not going to get pale.
Ever.
See? Right. See that? And you can take the lightest skinned of us, man. Put us in the sun, put us on a Caribbean beach somewhere, please. And we gonna get dark as hell. You understand? Like, that's gonna happen. You see that? So it don't matter how much you look like you don't have melanin. I don't care how many times your father slept with. I don't care how many white women.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna be dark. It's gonna be like that. You're gonna be able to walk around in the sun. Your melanin is gonna change you up dark and lovely. You understand? And we got many scriptures that show you that all the Hebrews, all the Jews and everything were dark-skinned people at one point. But they got lighter through intermixing with the nations.
So where the white people come from?
So-called white man?
Yeah.
Good topic. Let's go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 25.
I was wondering if you wanted the Jeremiah 12 and 9, since you were talking about like the mystery.
Jeremiah 12 and 9, because of, the speckled bird? Hold that. Hold that.
This is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25. Actually, come up some. Go up some. Straight to it.
Yeah, go up some. Go up
Come.
some. Was it 21?
Come. This is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren.
Right, so you know about Isaac and Rebekah, right? All right. Isaac and Rebekah hadn't had no kids. So he was asking the Most High for a child, for a child, all right? Because he wanted a chosen seed also. Go ahead.
And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
So the Most High heard his prayer, and he's, okay, y'all gonna get pregnant, all right? Go ahead.
Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her.
So in the belly, the kids was fighting already. Like they barely little embryos just duking it out, right? Go ahead.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
So she's like, okay, if I'm pregnant, then why is my belly just flip-flopping and moving around? Am I dying? Right? What's going on in there? Go ahead.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
So she went and prayed to the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 what?
2 nations.
2 nations, all right, are in your womb. Now that means these 2 babies that were in her, you're not having 1 baby, you're having 2 nations, all right? Now he said there are 2 nations. You understand? Go ahead.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 manner of people. That means these 2 nations are going to have 2 different mannerisms, all right? 2 different ways of acting, thinking, talking, moving, singing, dancing, all that. All right? Go ahead.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Right. He said 2 nations will be separated from your bowels. All right? So these 2 nations, they're not going to be unified. They're not going to be walking hand in hand and little white boys walking down the street with little black girls.
Right.
All right? That Martin Luther King dream was a damn nightmare. You understand?
I was just going over there today.
Yeah. Yeah, he said it. He said it. He was afraid that he led his people out of what did he say?
He said, brought them into a burning house.
Brought them into a burning house. Right? Like I unified them into a burning house. He said that before his death. So that took back, he basically disannulled everything he said in that I have a dream speech. But all you were fed was I have a dream. See that? But that scripture said, two manner of people was going to be separated from your belly, right? Now let's see what manner of people came out. Go to verse 25.
Verse 25. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment.
Now this is the birth of the man named Esau. Alright? He came out red, all over like a hairy garment. Have you ever seen a so-called white baby being born? Or you ever seen a so-called white man mad? What color do they turn?
Red.
Alright? Yeah, I mean, they're either real dark pink, or they red, right? Now, pink is a derivative, derives from the color scheme of red, so they call them red. Alright? So the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, right? Now, look at your arms right now. And I can pick you at random, I can't even see your arms, but look at your arms. Are you hairy? Are you furry? Like, for me to act like you, would I have to put goat fur on my arms? Nah, right? But when you look at the so-called white man, especially those ones dwelling in Israel today, look at Robin Williams. Look at, what was that guy, Steve, wait, who said it?
Steve Irwin.
Is that him, 40-year-old virgin? Right. Look at these cats. They got fur. That ain't hair. That's fur. You understand? You beyond hairy. You know, you furry. You understand? That's a person I would have to strap goat's fur to my arm in order to fool a blind man and say I'm him. You understand?
Right.
And that's what happened with Jacob and Esau. Jacob had to put fur on his arm, goat's fur, just to say to Isaac, hey, I'm Esau. You understand? But the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. Go ahead.
And they called his name Esau.
They call his name Esau. Ishash. It means wasted away. And that was based off looking at him. Alright? If you ever scraped yourself, right? You see that white meat right under, right?
Right.
That top layer got scraped off. So it was wasted off. Now you got that layer, which if you go out in the sun and let the sun hit it, it stings a little bit, right? Right. Now what happens when they go out in the sun? It stings a little bit. I'm peeling, I'm burning, I got cancer, oh my God. You understand? Come out looking like a damn baseball mitt. See that? So, yeah, that is their problem. That's not our problem. That's why when it tells you about the next one, it just tells you the other one grabbed hold of his heel. And they brought him out, they called his name Jacob. They didn't say he was red and hairy all over. Why? Because he was normal. He was dark skinned when he came out. You understand? So this is where you get that nation of people from. And, you know, I got a book called The 13th Tribe that breaks them down and shows them that their birthright is the exact same as the man called Esau. Alright? Matter of fact, I think it's still online. They might have put it back online. It's Fake Jews Exposed. If you look on YouTube, Fake Jews Exposed, and then you can put in ISB HPK. Alright? But yeah, I went through all that. from their birth to now. Alright? But yeah, that's where you're witnessing the birth of the first of the so-called Edomite Empire, or Esau. Alright? The so-called white man. And when you go through, you find out the Romans, they identified themselves as Idumeans. The Greeks, the ones that took over Greece, what is now Greece, they identified themselves as Idumeans. You understand? I'm not talking about the Greeks that you were supposed to be watching in 300. The Greeks you were supposed to be watching in 300, the Spartans, those were Jews. Those were Hebrews. You understand? The Lacedaemonians. That's why in 300 they had the L on their shields, because another name for the Lacedaemonians was Spartans. Alright? And those 300, those were Jews. Those were Hebrews that fought in that land. Alright? Yeah. And they fought against another black empire, the Persians and Medes. So we're not them either. You understand? All the empires back then was black. That's what they showed you in the movie, right? They showed you Xerxes, right? He's stomping over, right? And tall brother. See what I'm saying? But they don't want to show you that the Greeks, right, the cradle of civilization, that they were black. They don't want to show you that. So the Greeks as you know them today, the so-called white man, they're Idumeans. The Romans as you know them today are Idumeans, but the original inhabitants were not. Alright, they were all dark skinned. What's
I just
that?
got that script in Exodus where it said that there was a difference between the Israel and the Egyptians.
Just read that.
To go biblical. Yeah, Con, this is just to let you know in the Bible that there was a difference. So this is Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. If you can say Con whenever you have it. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know.
That you may know. Alright? You that was always taught that you the same people and you their brother and all that, right? That you may know.
How the Lord doth put a difference.
He put a what?
A difference.
A unity?
A difference.
Similarity.
A difference.
A difference. Go ahead.
Between the Egyptians and Israel.
And Israel. See that? He put that difference. See that? You don't know because the dogs ain't eating us in the streets. You know what I mean? You don't know because these other nations ain't trying to fight us or ain't trying to destroy us as a nation no more because we ain't got a nation no more. See what I'm saying? All the dogs is wagging their tongues at Egypt right now. All the dogs is wagging their tongue at that landmass right now, and many of the ones around it. But they ain't messing with us as a nation. Why? We ain't got a nation. You see that?
Who are the dogs?
Who are who?
Who are the dogs?
There's a lot of different references to the word dogs in scripture. So I don't want to pinpoint it and say that it's only the nations. All right. But you had like Christ, right? When he was walking through the city, the woman came up to him in Matthew chapter 15, right? And she was begging him, please heal my daughter. He said, it's not meet for me to take the children's bread and give it to the dogs. And it told you that she was a Syrophoenician woman, I think. She was of another nation. You understand? She wasn't, that wasn't the Samaritan. Syrophoenician. She was a white woman. You understand? She was a Greek. So he was like, it ain't good for me to take the children's bread, the nation of Israel's bread, and give it to you dogs, you other nations. So he shut her down based on her skin color. He was racist.
Yeah, right.
I didn't say it. The Bible did.
Can we get that?
What's that?
No, I want to give you this. I want you to check that out. This actually goes into what you just said about the Europeans, how they came from the Black Sea, Russia. It goes into that. It actually goes and shows you that they were from that Greek, the Grecian and the Romans. They actually came from the northern hemisphere.
Right.
Like they wasn't even dealing with Israel at all. And when it came to the separation, I've actually been reading on this, and it goes into detail. And it shows exactly what you just said. Everything you just said is on that page.
Yeah, we got to go through that sometime.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, like I said, we keep the books around to prove it, man. That little library right there is like, that's not even half of the one I got at home, and then that's the one I got at home made a third of what the other priest got. So we keep the books. All right. What's that?
What book is that?
It talks about the civilization. It goes into the Greeks and the Romans.
What's it called?
It's called it's right here. It says the Epic of Man.
Oh, the Epic of Man. Yeah, that's by
Yeah.
Time Life Books.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Time Life knows this.
Yeah.
All right.
They know there was a separation between Israelites and the Europeans.
Yeah, and if you look at the editors, most of the editors of Time Life, these are the cats that are calling themselves the Jews today.
Right.
They'll tell you they didn't come from Israel.
Because it refers to the Greeks and the Romans as barbarians.
Right.
Because they wasn't involved in what. Even when you look at the pictures of the Europeans and the pictures of the Ethiopians and the Egyptians and then the Hebrews.
Right.
Have two different types of depictions.
Two manner of people, right?
Right.
So this is basically going into the Dark Ages, if they call them barbarians, because they have no type of skill.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about why they call certain things that the Black Sea, the Dark Ages, right? Why did they call it that? Well, that was because when dark people were ruling Europe for 1,000 years.
Right.
Italy.
You know what I mean? But they trying to tell you, oh, it was the Dark Ages. All the lights went out.
Right.
Everybody
No knowledge.
Everybody was dying from the plague.
Right.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, or they say that. It was an age of no knowledge. What are you talking about? Some of the greatest inventions of the time came out during the Dark Ages.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some of the greatest advances in art and history and science and poetry and all that came out during the so-called Dark Ages. That was because black people was running the show. You understand? but they want to call it the Dark Ages because they want to turn the lights out on that period in history.
We never talk about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they don't. They never talk. The only thing they talk about is the bubonic plague, right?
Yeah.
The Black Death. That was us. That was when we was wiping y'all out. What's that?
So the Dark Ages is not when they made that picture of Jesus Christ. 'Cause I thought that was the reason.
That was
why.
after the Dark Ages.
Oh.
Renaissance.
Yeah, that's the Renaissance. Dark Ages is about, let's see, you have 192 AD until about 1453 AD.
That with the Vikings, the Dark Ages, right?
Yeah. And then when you start dealing with the Renaissance and everything like that, you start dealing with like 1490. So it's about 100 years later. Alright? When the Europeans, the Ottoman Turks, came back into power and they started ruling Europe. The white Europeans that you know now came back as the Ottoman Turk Empire and they started ruling Europe. Alright, so I gotta remind y'all, the official day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the official start is tonight, so tonight is a Sabbath. Alright? Feast of Unleavened Bread, that happened when we fled from the Egyptians. When we were we were crossing the Red Sea, that's all we really had was we had our kneading troughs on our backs, so we took them off, made some bread real quick, fire roasted it, didn't have time to put no old flavor into it to make it taste like the good stuff we used to eat in Egypt. We just had the dough, rolled it out, burnt it up, ate it. It kept moving. Alright, what you would know is like tortillas or, you know what I mean, tostadas today. That's what we was eating when we was crossing the Red Sea. Flatbread, we was eating that, because that's all we had right there. Alright? So we didn't have time to put the leavening agents in and all that. Alright? So we do the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It lasts for 7 days. Alright? The first day, which starts tonight, that is the Sabbath, which means we're not going around having sexual relations. We're not going to clubs and all that stuff like that. The other days are regular days. You know, they're holy days and everything like that, but they're not Sabbaths until you get to the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Alright? So 7 days from now, which will be next Wednesday, that night will be another Sabbath. Alright?
Con.
Where were we at?
Who's going on
We
now?
went a little off the topic, but we wanted to make sure you got your questions answered. You know what I mean? But again, when you go online, when you go to our YouTube videos, man, especially you can go the difference between Africans and Hebrews. We did a whole video on that. Gave you a whole 1 hour show dedicated to that. You know what I mean? The history of Israel. We did a whole show dedicated to that. You know what I mean? So we do whole classes on this stuff, man. There's another one called From Niggers to Jews. Alright? Or From Jews to Niggers, excuse me. Alright? Because we went backwards. That is 3-4 hours worth of meat. Alright? So yeah, you can check those out, man. Alright?
So on this Sabbath day of tonight, do we just eat bread?
No, you don't have to just eat it. Some people do it as like a fast or to keep the tradition as it was originally kept. Like, we was fleeing from the Egyptians. Let me eat my crackers while I'm running. You know what I mean? So they do it like that. Me and another brother used to do that. You know, we try to do the whole 7 days just eating that flat bread. You know what I mean? Turned out we was doing that wrong because it's made with old bread. So the whole point was that you didn't have the old flavor brought into the new year. For your spirit, you didn't have that old flavor, that lying, that bitterness, that all that. You didn't have that brought into the new year. You understand? So that was the whole point of us doing that physically, was to represent what we should be doing spiritually. All right.
So basically, this time is like where we will start our new year.
Yeah. You know, in the logical time that a year should be new. When the flowers start growing, the grass starts turning green again, the trees start turning green again. Not in the time of death, in the middle of December, or the middle or the 1st of January, where everything's still dead. That's a backward European, people of different manners type of mind state.
Right.
All right.
I got one more thing on that.
Go ahead.
It's crazy because how this is when the new year starts. Right? Truthfully, when you go to when you deal with like corporations and businesses, when they do like their fiscal year, where they do their numbers and stuff.
Right.
This is where it like for us and like other companies, like this is where like they get their numbers for that year,
Yeah.
and then they start over
Right.
afterwards.
And that's another epiphany that just hit me though, is that this will be the official new year. You gotta think about it. When the Most High made plants, herbs, and when he said, let there be these things, right? In Genesis chapter 1, those things weren't gonna grow in the wintertime. This is the official new year. Like, literally, that's when the year started. When the Most High made those, in those first 7 days, when he said, let there be this, let there be that, right? Those things, when they started growing, that made the official new year. Y'all see that? What's that, sis?
Oh, and another thing that I noticed is that the weather, like, it was very sunny today, and I was watching the Weather Channel, and they said it was going to be good weather for a few days.
Right, right.
After all hell
They
broke
probably
loose.
lied to you too.
Right. After all hell broke loose.
Yeah, because I heard somebody said that it was supposed to flood again tonight. So,
Yeah, they made me leave work early today, and then it didn't rain that much, and the sun came out.
yeah,
Rock
that weatherman be messing them up, man.
Yeah,
He
man.
think he know what the Most High doing.
They throwing they
3 day off for me. Cool.
electrical currencies in the sky.
Huh?
They throwing electrical currencies in the sky trying to throw it off.
Right. Let's get back to Revelation. Now, so for a lot of y'all that just tuned in watching, you kind of heard us going over the history of Israel, so for the new people. But we're continuing that Revelation chapter 5 breakdown that we left off on Monday. All right.
Come on, we're on Revelation chapter 5 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
And behold, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beasts and the elders. And the number of them were 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands. Verse 12, saying with a loud voice.
So that thousands of thousands, that 10,000 times 10,000, and then thousands of thousands, you're dealing with over 100 million angels raising their voice to glorify the Most High. Y'all see that?
Come.
Now, think about this, something to consider. When Moses was coming off the mountain, Joshua heard all the people cheering, having a party. He said, it's the voice of people going to war. They were having a party. Moses had to tell them, that's not the voice of people going to war. That's the voice of people sinning against the Most High. They down there partying.
You said Joshua 1 and 8?
No, it's in probably in Numbers or something like that.
Oh.
But yeah, he had to tell them that our party, it sounded like wartime. So imagine 100 million angels who the scriptures say are greater in power and might. Imagine them throwing a party up in heaven. The earth couldn't handle that. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 12, saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power, and riches, and wisdom, and strength.
What verse you at?
This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 12.
Right, so Christ is worthy to receive all that power and that majesty and that glory. Alright? So they're giving him praise for that. Go ahead.
Glory and the blessing. Verse 13. And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I saying, blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne.
So everything in creation, all of creation, is honoring and worshiping the Most High and Yahweh Shai, Christ. Alright? All of creation. Alright? Where you at?
This is the last precept of verse 13. And unto the Lamb forever and ever. Verse 14. This is Revelation chapter 5 and verse 14. And the four beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshipped him.
That word Amen, it's Aman when you say it in Hebrew, and it has nothing to do with Aman Ra. Alright? It has nothing to do with whatever Egyptology you try to put in your head. Aman in Hebrew means so be it. Alright? You'll see a lot of Hebrew words that the nations, they got confused at the Tower of Babel. They didn't understand it no more. The Most High gave them a different understanding of the same words. So when they hear the word, it was interpreted in their brain as, now this is a God. When they heard the Hebrew word, now it was, oh, this is a God. So when you hear us say Abba, right? When Christ told us to cry, Abba, Father. Call him Father, right? the Babylonians thought we was talking about their god of the underworld. So when you hear Abba, that's a powerful Babylonian underworld god, all right, or goddess, all right. When you hear us say Aman, the Egyptians heard it as Aman Ra. You understand? Their head god, all right. We didn't have nothing to do with that. We had a difference, like the brother read, between the Egyptians and the Israelites. All right. So there's a difference between Egyptian and Hebrew. All right. So when we say Aman, when these angels said Aman, they're not worshiping no Egyptology god. They're not worshiping no Kemetic prince. You understand? They're saying, so be it. Agreed. All right. That's what that means in Hebrew. Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 14. And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshipped him that liveth forever and ever.
Right. So once they heard that song from this innumerable company of angels, even the 4 beasts were like, yep, so be it. You know what I mean? And then the 24 elders even had to fall down. Everything in creation is going to worship the Most High in Christ, man. That's his praise for living this life, going through all the trials and tribulations and everything we did, but then taking it all the way till death. You understand? That's his reward for that, is that all of creation is going to be praising him. But we sell out for what? Oh, I got what I came in the truth for. I got me a rib now. I'm out.
The booby prize.
Right? I got me a car now, so I don't need to serve the Most High no more. Really? Christ took it all the way till death. He left all the glory of heaven behind, came down here and became a man like you. Gave everything up. Then he gave up all the earthly pleasures to sit on that cross and die for you. Y'all see that? And this is his reward. What you fighting for? His reward is over 100 million angels singing his praise throughout the universe. And you fighting for what?
Booby prize.
A dollar bill with Harriet Tubman's face on it?
Right.
Really? Pair of Nikes? Pair of Jordans? Huh?
White neighbors.
Right, white neighbors.
White neighbors.
So you touching on the cable show I'm about to drop too. Us just trying to be like them. You know what I mean? We just trying to be equal because all our great leaders pump that in our head, man.
Right.
No, we just trying to be equal to them. We were never equal to them. The scripture said we was above them and every other nation on the face of the earth. That ain't racism. That's just truth.
Right.
That's what God said. See that? Now they was all cool with having this Bible all up in their churches, all up even in the Mormon church, right? Till you show them that, oh, these people they talk about, they're black. They was all cool with the Israelites being chosen above all nations on the earth. That's why they left it in there. It was like, oh, these little white Israelites, we above all nations on the earth.
Right.
Then you show them that they was black. Oh no, that ain't in the Bible. Huh? It's been in there since you wrote it, since y'all printed it. You just mad because it's us. You mad because when you look up in the sky, there ain't gonna be no little lily white Jesus coming down out the sky with long blonde hair ready to bless you and everything. It's gonna be a black man that's gonna be upset for you killing his brothers and sisters and throwing them in the ocean and putting them in slavery. And he's gonna be killing y'all.
Stealing their organs.
That ain't my Jesus.
Stealing their organs?
Yeah, that's what they've been doing to us up until this day. That's why you don't want to fill out that organ donor part on your license.
They're doing that a lot in Mexico now.
Because you'll be the next guy with a gun
Right.
on cops.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be the next man with a hoverboard that looks like an AK.
Right. Oh, he donated his organs. Oh, okay. Little Susie needs an organ today, so little Tyrone got to die. That's why you don't want to put down organ donor on there. You don't want to check that off, man. Yeah, they find you missing. But they've been doing that, man. You know, they've been doing that. They was cutting off our private parts, whether it was Judite or Native American. They was using that as devices.
Or change purses.
Or that. You know what I mean? I'm saying that women was using it as devices.
Yeah.
You understand? Well, they've been doing that since they could. You understand? Since the sword was gifted to them. They've been trying to get our organs, trying to get our melanin. They doing that right now in Europe, man. They trying to bottle up your melanin.
Oh, you can actually sell
That's
it.
expensive, yeah.
Yeah,
Melanin.
they made it. We can take away your melanin for you. It's a gift. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it from you. We can take that off of you so that you don't have to live with that curse no more. You got people going up in these European countries, giving their melanin away.
Damn.
That's funny. That's real funny.
And what do you call it on the, because gold is on what? Gold is on the, what standard, not standard, but on what, like a natural goods list, whatever.
The periodic table of the elements.
No, not elements, about cost-wise, about natural.
Oh, that's right below platinum.
Yeah, see, but melanin is number one.
Yeah.
Melanin is number one.
It's above that.
How much is it worth?
Melanin?
He got to get that for you.
I'll get it for you.
Yeah, I don't really look. I haven't really looked at the chart, man. But obviously, it's so important that they make sure that they got Planned Parenthood so they can take it from your birth, the stem cells and all that, and then they got the cops to kill you in your midlife, and then they got the certain places where you take old people and they come up missing. So they're gonna take it from you at every stage of life.
So what are they doing with it?
Oh, they're trying to get it into themselves. They're trying to figure out how it's produced, how it's made, and everything like that, so that they can become dark skinned. Every time they try to look healthy, what do they do? What do they got to do to make themselves look healthy?
Tan themselves, makeup.
Yeah, they either gotta put foundation on, right? They put when they're doing the weightlifting competitions, right? What color do they always spray paint themselves?
Brown.
See, they bronze themselves, right? They spray that bronze because they want to look like you. So you got these pale white dudes that you wouldn't even recognize them once they hit the stage. Why? Because they done put the blackface on them behind the screen. That way you can see all the little rips in their muscles and see how healthy they look. Because even they know that to be pale is a sign of sickness. You see that? If you go to the doctor, he says you look pale, you're like, oh my God, what do I got? Right? You don't be like, oh, thank you. Right? Nah, they say you look pale, I'm dying. What's wrong with me? You understand? That's why they do it. They want to look healthy. They want their health back. It was stripped from them by the Most High as a curse. What's that?
Even if they take it away from the people, they still have it, right? Their melanin.
Who?
The people that give their melanin away, and they still have it, right? If they take it away.
What they're doing is they're basically taking away that top layer of skin off of these people. Yeah. So I don't know if their body's gonna naturally revert back over time, and they gotta shed every year or something like snakes. I don't know. But yeah, once that top layer come off though, you're basically them. Coincidentally, you shave a gorilla, he look like them. Or a monkey, they look like them. Thin lips, cracked face, everything.
I got that the price. So a gram of melanin is $353.
Wow.
And a gram of gold is $53.
Wow.
Yeah, so it says actually even an ounce of gold is $1,315, $1,315, and an ounce of melanin is 10 racks.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was trying to get the more.
That made me want to put myself in a safe.
So they have the melanin clinics or something?
Oh, they basically have clinics where you go and they'll strip you down off of your melanin. And a lot of our people are trying to do that already. They putting 20 tons of makeup on, trying to bleach their skin and do all that. They trying to lose that anyway.
Skin
We trying to get
rejuvenation,
them.
looking light pale, like shit.
Yeah,
Sammy Sosa,
yeah. Been doing it.
Bibbs Cartel.
My son-in-law has, what they call it, kind of, skin where his skin is peeling.
Vitiligo? Or,
Eczema? No.
oh, you said where it's peeling?
Yeah, with pains and all.
Yeah, that might be like some kind of eczema or leprosy or something like that. But yeah, when it comes off though, he turn pale, right? Huh? When it comes off, is he turning pale or what?
It's not in his face, his hands and arms.
Yeah,
It's working its way
that's that leprosy, man.
It's working its way
You got to get right with the Most High. Because Miriam, she got turned leprous. Yeah, when you read Numbers chapter 12,
Except like,
Most High bleached her on the spot.
Calm down.
Aaron was like, take this sin off of her. Most High gave her back her melanin.
except like Michael Jackson see you was getting. Michael Jackson, you know.
Oh, that vitiligo.
Yeah.
Right, right.
That's right. That's how it really is.
Yeah, that's how leprosy is. That's what leprosy originally was. Now they try to tell you it's these sores and bumps and boils on you. But leprosy, the original term for leprosy was a loss of pigment. It was a skin disease that made you lose your pigmentation. But they don't want that identified with them. They don't want to be called lepers. They want to be called the white man.
Right.
They want to be called pure, innocent, holy.
But he don't like it. Now he black.
Yeah.
Nobody would.
I see the whole family.
Because he too calm, you know, when he's brown and then his teeth.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's, like I said, when you go all through the scriptures, that's how the Most High used to curse people. They do something wicked, he cursed them like that. Or kill them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about melanin, because I seen a video, I don't know if it's true, but they said that they use the melanin for space devices to send up in space, like they use melanin on the,
I didn't know that. Dang.
What they say?
yeah.
Yeah, I was reading something that says Superman should be black because he gets his power from the sun. And that wouldn't happen with white people. Like they were saying that like the melanin in your body actually changes the sun rays and the vitamin D, makes you stronger and all that. Boosts your immune system. So Superman should technically be black if he was real.
They say like all plants and like living creatures have melanin, so like we connected to like everything, you know.
Yeah.
They said even the universe had melanin.
Even the universe too, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah, you made out of
deep, man.
cosmic stuff, man.
Yeah.
Didn't I say
What's
you
that?
gods?
So are we supposed to or not supposed to mix with other nations?
Good question. The Most High told us not to mingle with them. Go to 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 1, read through verse 4.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 1.
That's just
So
for
we
what I
got-
know off the top of my head, but go ahead.
But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites,
So he liked the daughters of Pharaoh, the Egyptians. He loved the Moabites. Go ahead.
Amorites,
Ammonites.
Ammonites,
Uh-huh.
Edomites, Zidonians,
So he liked the so-called white girls. He liked them. Go ahead.
and Hittites,
Uh-huh.
of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto children of Israel,
The Hittites were dark skinned. These are African people. He said, what?
ye shall not go into them.
You shall not what?
Go into them.
Right. You don't go into them. You don't go into their women. See that? But Solomon loved these women. Go ahead.
Neither shall they come unto you.
Right?
For surely they will turn away your hearts after other gods.
Right. They'll turn away your heart to other gods. And we did it through the scriptures. You see brothers went off. I want to get some of that. You know what I mean? I want my kids to have good hair.
God.
Yeah, that was a new one.
They went into that. And then Ezra said, you know what, get rid of them and their kids.
Oh, I got that.
Because they had stopped. The reason for it, though, was that they had stopped teaching their kids Hebrew. They weren't teaching them the customs of their people. They was teaching those kids. They was letting the women run the show. Let them go after other customs. All right? Serve other gods. So the Most High said, told Ezra, get rid of them.
That was First Kings chapter 11, verse 1.
Chapter 11, verse 1 through 4.
I got that in Ezra. Ezra chapter 10. There's two different parts about the strange wives.
Go ahead.
This is Ezra chapter 10, and we'll start at verse 3.
Now you see we answered everything according to the Bible because I don't want you to get my opinion. You might think I'm just some bigot up here spouting all kinds of black supremacy and white hate and blame it on me. This is biblical. See what I'm saying? The Most High put that separation. Go ahead.
Ooh, actually, no, Salaki. I'm going to go to verse 9. Ezra chapter 9 and verse 12. All right. It says, now therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons.
You're 12 and 9 or 9 and 12?
9 and 12.
Okay.
This is Ezra chapter 9 and verse 12. Now therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons.
See that? We was outlawed from that. Nowadays, you can't really tell who's who now. Most of us are just finding out we Jews. So how we gonna know who's who? You know what I mean? Now we don't intentionally, hey, I'm gonna go get Becky. You understand? But you might end up with a girl that's like, you know, you think I ain't mess with her, or I would mess with her, but she pale. You know what I mean? Or she got blonde hair, or she got blue eyes, or whatever. And then find out her dad is blacker than you. You know what I mean? That's what that intermixing does. Like I say, you go to Germany, man, you be like, man, she's 6 foot tall, she got blonde hair down to her ankles, you know what I mean? Full figure and everything like that. And then find out her dad darker than you. From one of the World War II guys that went over there and was laying with them women. See that? We got babies all over there, man. We got babies we leave babies all over Brazil. I mean, we basically founded Brazil. That's us. That was one of the slave trade stops. They dumped us off over there. We mixed with those natives there, right? The tribe of Asher. We messed with them, and then we blended together with them, and then we blended together with the Spaniards and conquistadors that was coming over. So we all kinds of mixed up down there. All right, you would know, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to intentionally. That's what I'm going for, because next thing you know, man, your kid be over there eating egg rolls and worshiping Buddha. You like, what's wrong with him? You know what I mean?
I just want to give an example because that's real. Because I was in the military, I was in the Navy, and there's a lot of brothers that was dealing with like Koreans and Japanese or whatever it may be. And I had a partner, he was dealing with a Korean, but I asked him, I was like, and that was when I was in the troop actually, so I came in, I was like, are you dealing? I was like, let me ask you a question. Are you do you pray to her God?
Right.
He was like, nah. I was like, listen, I ain't trying to judge you nothing. I was like, are you praying? And he's like, yeah, because he bowed down, because that's what she do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The same thing with the Japanese. Like I see a lot of brothers wearing the same little gimmick, goes to the nice little shrines and do the little, hey, y'all worshiping their gods. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what the Most High want.
Yeah, because we go following them
Yep.
for what's between their legs, and then we like, oh, okay. Well, you want me to do this to get that? All right. You know what I mean? Hail Buddha. You know what I mean? Like, we go all in.
That's real.
Oh no, you done with that?
Live. I saw.
I got scripture up there.
I was just going to jump to Ezra chapter 10 and verse 10. Ezra chapter 10 and verse 10. And Ezra the priest stood up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed and have taken strange wives.
See, that was a transgression. That was us breaking the law, was dealing with these strange women. Go ahead.
To increase the trespass of Israel. Verse 11. Now therefore make confession unto the Lord God of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the people of the land.
See that? Separate yourselves from the people of the land. I ain't racist, God is. You understand? He's for his people. He don't want them diluted. He don't want them mixed. That wasn't my rule. Y'all see that?
And from the strange wives.
So that was when he told us, kick them out. Get rid of them. That's why we got Israelites in all kinds of other countries, man. Is that right there where he said, kick them out. These are Israelite kids, man. So they had part Israelite. It said they spoke half in the Jews' tongue and half in the other language of the nations, right? So they had some of our customs. So you go to parts of India, Africa, Ethiopia, you got cats that they speak Ethiopian, but they speak Hebrew. They follow Hebrew customs. These are descendants of our scattered seed. See that? But that was destined to happen, man. It was a blessing that the Most High put on us to be able to take over the world. And that's in Numbers 24, verse 7. It says Israel's seed is going to be in many waters. You understand? We're going to be all over the place. What you got?
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1.
That was Numbers 24, verse 7 for the brother. I seen him writing it down.
You did that Ezra 9 and 12, right?
Yeah.
So this is Deuteronomy chapter 7. I'm going to start at verse 1. And when the Lord God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Gergesites, the Amorites, and Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee.
He named all these dark nations, right? He said, when I deliver them to you, when I help you wipe them out, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
You show what to your black
Smite
brothers?
them.
Wait, but that's my black brother.
Thou shalt smite them.
Africa Bumbata. That's me. I'm Shaka Zulu.
Thou shalt smite them.
Uh-oh. We supposed
Shaka
to kill him.
Zulu.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
We were supposed to utterly destroy them.
Come on.
Alright, go ahead.
And thou shalt make no covenant with them.
And not even make no promises, no vows, no marriages, none of that. Go ahead.
No show mercy unto them.
Uh-huh.
Neither shalt thou make marriage with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take take unto thy sons. For they will turn away thy sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
So that should make it clear right there. You know what I mean? Right. So you got a lot of scriptures right there, whether we're supposed to do it or not. You know what I mean? What's that?
That was like one of my questions that I was gonna ask, but I didn't want to take up the class because this picture at the back, you know, I was like wondering if if they was part of our nation, but you just answered it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We don't discern between where they come from and all that no more because we're scattered everywhere. You understand? When you read Amos, he tells you that though I scatter you as corn is sifted in the sieve, I will not let the least rain fall upon the earth. So he does sprinkle us everywhere. All right? But, right on time. All right, so. No, go ahead.
So we are in Africa too?
Yeah. You got the people of Nigeria call themselves Igbos, right? Which is how they pronounce Hebrew. All right. What they call the Biafran people. These are the Igbos. Before they was calling themselves Igbos, they call themselves they call themselves now Biafran people. These are the people that fight against the other tribes over there in Africa. They fighting against them because they descend from they say they descend from the Hebrews that fled away from the Egyptian captivity. All right. So some of us went down into Africa. We was at war with them forever. You got a nation right above Nigeria. I think it's right in the heart of Africa on the north part. It was called Judah. On the old maps, you can still see it. Juda.
So are we in Egypt too?
Yeah. I mean, we got a remnant everywhere. We was Joseph, man. Joseph, his wife was an Egyptian.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was running Egypt. His little dudes was running all through there. You understand? So yeah, we ran the show. As a matter of fact, pretty much all those sarcophagus you see and those headdresses you see with the snake on the top was us. That was the Hebrew kings. Or if they had a scarab on them, that meant they was Hebrews. That was our identification back then in Egypt. Yeah, so most of them pharaohs was us. We ran the show.
The Shepherd Kings.
The Hyksos. The Hyksos. There's a whole period of time when Egypt was ruled by people called the Hyksos, which is known as the Shepherd Kings. The Egyptians didn't like shepherds. They hated them. They abhorred them. They wouldn't even sit at the same table with them to eat. But they got a whole period of history called the Shepherd Kings that ruled Egypt. That was us. We were the sheep herders. I gotta look into the exact kings, cause I think man, I'm trying to remember what Joseph's name was over there, but you go from there's a lot of them, man. There's a lot of them. I think Tutankhamun, I think he was one. Imhotep might have been another one. Akhenaten. I mean, all their most famous ones that they try to say were these great godly characters and did all these great things and set up sacrifices and all that. That was us, giving them our customs. The ones that erected the pyramids and all that. They didn't erect them. We did. They told us we want a great city here, and we built them a great city. See what I'm saying? They didn't know nothing about that kind of architecture. If they did, how come when the Hebrews left, there ain't no more pyramids being built? See that? We left, 1900 years before Christ, and they ain't built a pyramid since? Uh-oh.
But they over here in America, though.
Yeah, they over here in Central America. You know what I mean? South Central America, they got All them pyramids, man. Same exact angles. 54.7 degrees. As the pyramids over there. Yeah. Glenn Beck brought it out right before he got fired. Did a whole Fox special on it. You see that?
Why you got fired?
More than likely. Yeah, you can't sit over there and drop how you found Hebrew tablets in Native American caves, and that the pyramids over here were built by the same people that built the pyramids in Egypt, and then the Bible shows you that the Hebrews built the pyramids in Egypt, and they let you keep running on the show on Fox. Like, wait a minute, you telling the truth on Fox? We call Fox for a reason. We sly as a fox, man. We lie to everybody. You ain't telling the truth here. You understand? Yeah, you gotta take that over to like, what's the undercover ones? WikiLeaks or something. You gotta take that over to them. You know what I mean? Or what's that other, Al Jazeera? You gotta take that over to them. They're canceling Al Jazeera too. Yeah. You go into it, you start to see why. What's that? Who had their hand up with you? Okay, everywhere.
I had this scripture I was going to drop earlier. It's just like we were speaking on how we were going to like different nations and events and everything.
Right. Well, that's it. Man. I don't want to beat that to death. Plus, we 10 o'clock now.
Okay. Now I was going to give about, especially when a lot of people think about our people spread abroad everywhere. We don't go off color. That's obviously what we learned. But I was just going to give Romans chapter 8 verse 16, how to bear witness if you would actually.
Give them the scripture. Go ahead and quote the scripture you had, so they can write it down.
It's Jeremiah 12 and 9.
Right. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird, right? Right. That's Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. If you know about a speckled bird, they got the different shades of brown, right? Or if you look and you see a flock of birds and you see that one speckled one, he looked darker than the rest. You know what I mean? That's what he's talking about. My heritage is like that. They stuck among the nations and the spots now. Ain't that one of our derogatory terms they call us? Spot. Speck. You know what I mean? Spick. Right? That's what they've been calling us. Why? Because we like a speckled bird. We like spicks. What you at?
Oh, my brother had a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just, the scripture to go with her too when she was asking if we were scattered amongst everybody. Because that Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'll scatter you among all nations on the face of the earth.
Right, that's one of the curses, obviously.
My question is, in chapter 6 of Revelation, it says where the noise of thunder, like, was that actual thunder?
Oh, no. That's the voice of the angels in the Most High. Yeah, remember, like I said, we sounded like we was going to war for party. These angels was praising the Most High 100 million plus deep. Alright? Now you can go to a stadium and a couple blocks away you hear them chanting because the dude hit a home run, right? And that sounds like a little bit close to thunder, right? 100 million plus angels? Yeah, that's gonna make the heavens shake, man. That's where lightning come from. Nah, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna say that as fact. You know what I mean? But that ain't even a fraction of what you hear up in heaven. It'll make your brain explode.
So is that a Royal Rumble?
Exactly, the real Royal Rumble, right? Who else had their hand up? Alright, if y'all get any other questions in your brain or anything like that, write them down. Bring them to class Friday, man. We got Friday class 9 to 11:30 p.m. Alright, again, a reminder, this is the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It started sundown the 20th. Alright? Coincides with the only day of Passover. Alright? So this is Passover and the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Alright, we'll go through the whole class on that, as we're going to be doing the Passover. We might televise that so y'all can join us for the feast. We'll let y'all know. Alright? What's that, sir?
Yeah, I was, well, I didn't read that one, but anyway, so, I have the Feast of the Unleavened Bread, what it meaning, what it applied to. I also have the Passover, what it meaning, what it applied to.
Oh, yeah, like I said, we're going to go through that in depth.
And then I got what all those 10 plagues mean, and boy, if you read what it applied to, you will want to change your life. If you haven't changed your life, don't bring you stubborn.
Right. Bring it next class. Because we want to go into that. You know what I mean?
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We got a couple.
Yeah,
Igbo. I-G-B-O.
Yeah, that's what translates to Hebrew.
Yeah.
What time is the Passover feast?
We're gonna do that on the 24th. That'll be a Sunday at 5 o'clock. And the address I gotta get for you. I gotta get one of the sisters to send me the address real quick.
Do you have a scripture?
Who else? And then you can bring that. You can bring that.
Okay, Friday I won't be here because I'm doing the Passover at the Power Center at 7 o'clock.
Oh, right. Okay.
And these are, like I said, I made some copies just to show y'all how we do the Passover, if you don't mind.
Well, yeah. Bring them up, and I'll see.
Yeah.
You know, in some places they got the zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So we like to check this stuff out. But
And then it's also a performance where Moses and Pharaoh would come, and it's the big performance while doing it.
oh yeah, you can leave the stack here, and I'll have them check it over. If it's cool, we'll pass it out.
Yeah.
All right, but was that the end of the questions and everything?
No, the sister was asking about understanding if you're a child of the Most High, the Israelite or not. And we go off by the Spirit. And that's Romans chapter 8 and verse 16.
Wow. Go ahead, read it.
This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit,
right,
that we are the children of God.
Right, because you got people just as dark as us, right? And you out there telling them, hey, the true Jews are black, Moses was black. No, he ain't. No, not my Jesus. You know what I mean? You're like, dang. And I love eating live meat and doing things with my woman on her time of the month and all this stuff. Like, okay, bro, bye. Because you are not an Israelite inwardly if you with that. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, you got some of the palest people on the planet you might talk to. You know what I mean? I rolled up on a dude because he looked like the picture of Jesus, right? I rolled up on him at the mall, man. I was like, hey, Jesus, man, turn my water into wine. I was joking with him because we got our business up there. I was like, yeah, turn my water into wine. He's like, Jesus isn't white. I was like, oh. No, that's what he said. He said, Jesus is black. He looked at me like I just came off another planet, like I was retarded. I was like, wow, the white man knows this. The white man that looked like that knows that. You understand? But yeah, you never know. So the Spirit is going to bear witness with our spirit that we're the children of God now. Y'all see that? Beside the flesh. All right, because the flesh is important too. All right, Paul tells you that in Romans chapter 3. What advantages the Jew have and what advantages the circumcision have? Much every way. Because unto them were granted the oracles of the Most High. The messages of the Bible was only supposed to be given by us to the rest of the world. Y'all see that? Ain't supposed to be no Joel Osteens, Benny Hinn's, whatever these other nations are out there, man.
So that's the result of the fall, basically. All the variations of religions is the result of our failure to.
Yeah, just like he tells you in Romans, I think it's 11, he tells you through their fall the Gentiles became rich. You know what I mean? We fell, the other nations jumped on there and started acting like they was the Jews. Started acting like the Bible was written to them. It's like I always tell people, it's like, okay, if I write you a check, your name's Tammy, right?
Yes, sir.
If I write you a check and it say Tammy on the name part, right? Can Sade cash it? Nah, it's not hers. Don't have her name on it. But everybody trying to cash in on what the Bible say and all these blessings, but it got Israel's name written on it from front to back. That's not your check. Y'all see that?
So that's scripture, because about our failure, the Gentiles became rich.
Yeah, I think it's, let me get it real quick. I think it's Romans 11. Verse, Romans 11:11.
Come. Romans chapter 11 verse 11. Come. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather, through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy.
Go ahead.
Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
So if the fall of Israel became the riches of the world, just to give you an example, Solomon's temple had a foot thick of solid gold on each side of one wall for 100 yards. That's a football field worth of 2 feet of gold solid. Alright, and I forgot how high it was. It was like I think it was like 60 feet high or something. No, it wasn't that high. It was like 30 feet high, 20 feet high, something like that. Right? Of pure gold. A foot on either side of a piece of cedar wood. You can't just get cedar everywhere. That you gotta pay for, right? A foot thick of solid pure gold. Just on one wall. So when they came and ransacked Israel, what was they going for? Let's go for that wealth. You know what I mean? There was one of his pillars, the chapters, Jacinth and Boaz, right? On the top of each one was a chapter made out of 50,000 pounds worth of pure bronze or brass. I mean, all right, 50,000 pounds of brass. All right, so when they came in to ransack the temple, the thing was 5 cubits big. When they left, it was only 3 cubits big. What you think they came in there for? They was stealing our stuff, man.
Like they always do.
Yeah, they stole our riches. We had shields of beaten pure gold just sitting around inside the temple. Just as trophies. You understand? They took all our riches, man. Then our spirit, come on, man. They do that to this day. Iggy Azalea wouldn't be nobody if she didn't act black. If she didn't put on that black face voice she got and jump on the radio, she wouldn't be anybody. You understand? There's a lot of those 30s, 40s actors, they would have been nobody if they hadn't spread that black face on. You understand? Our fall became the riches of the Gentiles, man. He said it. Now, if their fall be the riches of the Gentiles, read on.
Be the riches of the Gentiles for to provoke them to jealousy.
Right, to provoke them to jealousy. That's why I did that. Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world, go ahead.
And the diminishing of them, the riches of the Gentiles.
Right, see? That's how they got rich. By us diminishing. We had to step down for them to get anything. They wouldn't even bathe until the 1300s. AD. Not BC. AD. Alright? So, what? 700 years ago, they learned how to bathe? The earth's been around 5,000 years? That's a lot of smelly cave people. You understand? We taught them that. Here's soap, here's water. Put them together, jump in. They didn't know that. But they want to tell you, they want you to believe that they invented all these great works of art and ballet and all that stuff. Okay. Believe that if you want to. Was that it on that scripture?
Yes, sir. Come.
Somebody else had their hand up, or? Alright. Yeah, man. Bring any questions in class for y'all online. We thank y'all for joining us. This is Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge, 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. If y'all want to donate for Passover, once again, the account number is Wells Fargo account number 101-580-6167. Or if you want to give your tithes or alms or anything else, you can send it to that. Otherwise, you can send any other kind of donations to that address. Books, pens, papers, office supplies, cars, whatever that you want to send to help us out in teaching your people. That way it'll get the word around. All right. Also, we need a new school. We need a bigger school. We got more people getting the word, so we need that to happen. That don't happen without money. All right, or a nice donation of a building. But we're gonna say shalom on that. We appreciate y'all joining us.
Shalom.
What's the password?
Alright, we're gonna say a prayer real quick. We're just gonna do the Our Father prayer, which is basically Our Father which art in heaven. You read verse 9 through 13 or 14. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those that trespass against us. Alright, so we're going to say that prayer in Hebrew. Alright, and then we're also going to say the blessing. We're going to say, God in the name of Christ, watch over us in the house of books, our blessing to us and to the house of books. That's for all the other people teaching throughout the world. Alright, and then we're going to, after that, we're going to salute the brothers.